Hello, boys and girls, and those who sexually identify as cartoon ANCAPs. I'm Jim Jesus, and today we're going to be doing a bunch of tier lists today. And since it is Thirsty Thursday, I'm thirsty, and not in that kind of thirsty. I got some Ardbeg here. Let's go ahead and crack this open before we get started. Now, I have a bunch of tier lists here, and hopefully we can get through all of them, but there's going to be one at the end that everybody was really looking forward for my explanations for. And that is the Lolbert's tier list that has been going around. In fact, I think Mr. Dapperton, no, I know Mr. Dapperton did a thing about it because he's told me personally, and I watched the live premiere for it. So this should be fun, and I have a whole bunch of different things. I have fast food. I have movies. I have music. I got all kinds of topics, and I think I'm going to give you guys some of the ones that we're going to do after this one. I'm going to do the fast food list first, and I'll let you guys decide in the chat room which one I should do next. So just to give off a couple, I guess I have a Pink Floyd albums. I have a Kevin Smith films. And let's do superhero movies, superhero and comic book movies. But first, let's just dive right into this because we have a lot to do and we might as well get through all of them. It's so good. So anyways, let's get into the fast food ones first. Because I think this one's going to be not as contentious as some of the other ones that I have lined up. I know a lot of people have been really upset and calling them hot takes. I'm pressing next to down on this one. But let's just go through some of these as well. So here, let's clear out some of the ones that I haven't had. I don't know what Biscuitville is. I've never had Blimpies. Never had Blaze Pizza, Bojangles. Never had Boston Markets. Never had these. Never had Fazoli's. Einstein Brothers. I've had Duncan. Let's see. Never had Culver's. Just getting rid of all the ones that are kind of regional, not to my area. Huddle House. What the hell? Harvey's. I've had both Hardee's and Carl's Jr., so we'll keep that on. Never had Marco's. I'm just going to get rid of some of them. I'm not going to do all of the ones that I haven't done right off the bat. I'm not going to get take and eat pizza. That's just wrong. If you're going to make pizza, make pizza. Don't fucking buy it half-cooked. I don't know what that is. All right, so that gets rid of some of them. So let's start off with A&W. Yeah, A&W. A&W is average. And their quality has definitely declined ever since they started losing money like crazy. And I know that like they have like half A&W, half Long John Silver's, so that really kind of gives you an idea of where they are. Though I'd probably put them a little bit higher. I'd put them higher than Long John Silver's, but yeah. Arby's is disgusting. If you eat Arby's, you're an awful, terrible person. The only thing that's good there is the fries and the French dips. Everything else is just a complete waste of time. It's disgusting. I don't know what that is. Buying pretzels at the mall. It's average, I guess. And what is? I don't even know what it's called. Something Annie's pretzels, whatever. Baja Fresh gets a disgusting from me, considering that the ones that were by me were always disgusting. Every time I went in there, they're disgusting, and then they got shut down by the. Well, actually, the owner bailed out because he was losing money because he didn't want to comply with keeping up with food or whatever. They were recycling food and using food that had been dropped off the floor, and there was rotten food in the thing that they were actually serving. So that's going to get a big yikes from me. It's going to get a big yikes from me. Ben & Jerry's. I don't know why this is on the fast food list. I guess they're average. I guess I can say that for all the ice cream places. They're just going to be average because it's not really. You know what? You don't count. You get to go in that. There you go. Bob Evans. Nope, never been there. Burger King. Burger King is the poor man's Carl's Jr. And because it's the poor man's Carl's Jr., it goes in the poor category. It's very poor, though it's not as bad as Arby's. I'll say that. California Pizza Kitchen is probably one of the few pizza chains that are actually edible. So that's going to get an average. They're going to get an average. Now, Captain D's. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Captain D's. They're extremely regional, and I don't even know what region they're in because I found them in places in the Midwest. And then I think there's actually one in Riverside at the Air Force Base, though I'm told, but I've never been able to get there because I don't know anyone that can get me on the base. But they're kind of like Long John Silver's, but not disgusting. They actually, their food is actually good. It's like if you were to take the idea of Long John Silver's and say, hey, let's not make it taste like hot garbage. That's Captain D's. Carl's Jr. is definitely, I'm going to put that in phenomenal. The Western Bacon Cheeseburger is fucking amazing. Let's skip down to Hardee's. Hardee's, I'm going to put in good because they're basically the same thing, except you don't get the Western Bacon Cheeseburger. So that's a big yikes. Chipotle, that's, I would put that in poor, but since Shiny works there, it's going to get a bump up. It's way overpriced. Way overpriced. And why are you going to put Tabasco? Why are you going to put Tabasco in Mexican food? That's no, you don't do that. That's not right. I don't even know what Charlie's is. Checkers Rallies, they're average. I will say that their wings are pretty good. Yeah. Chick-fil-A. They had opened up a Chick-fil-A not near me, not too far from me, rather. And because of that, I gained 35 pounds and had to go on a diet. So maybe I should put it dock at a point, but because it's so good, I can't really fault it for that. Church's Chicken, best of the chicken places for sure, but it's just good. CC's is hot hot, disgusting garbage. Cinnabon, I'm going to put it as poor. And and it's not because they taste bad. It's because each one of their I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, Prom. Cinnabon, though they taste good, they're like 1 trillion calories per serving. So that's a big yikes for me. Cold Stone, not fucking fast food. You can stop doing that. I don't know what Cookout is. Dairy Queen, their food is disgusting, but their ice cream is pretty good. So because of that, I'm going to. But then again, it's not an ice cream list. I guess we're judging it by the food, so that gets a big disgusting for me. But their ice cream is good. Del Taco, the best of the Americanized Mexican food for sure. Del Taco is great. If you like, God help you. But if you do like Taco Bell and you see a Del Taco, give it a try. It's 100% better. Denny's, this is not fast food. That's a big pour from me because it's not fast food. This is not fast food either. None of the pizza chains are fast food either, and Domino's is disgusting. All of the chain pizza places are disgusting. Dunkin' Donuts is a big average from me. Expecting hate from all you New Englanders. Come at me, bro. It's all right. There's better donut places. Your local donut place is probably going to be a whole lot better. And I don't understand how it's so good that you need to put a Dunkin' Donuts across the street from a Dunkin' Donuts. Like, why? There doesn't need to be two right across the street. It's not that good. El Pollo Loco. That's going to go in the phenomenal tab. And it's not one of those like, hey, we're trying to be health food, but really not, like Subway. They're legit like healthy food, grilled chicken, and they have lots of healthy stuff. Fat Burger, holy shit, that's amazing. Any place you can get an egg on your hamburger, automatically 10 out of 10 for me, even if it's not that great. I've never been to Firehouse. Everyone keeps telling me to go to Firehouse. Never been. Five Guys, average. Come at me, bro. They're not that great. Everyone keeps saying that they're better than In-N-Out, and their fries are better than In-N-Out. I'll give them that, but they have been slowly declining over the last bit of years, and not been impressed. Not impressed. I don't know what Friendly's is. Fuddruckers is pretty good, but last time I went there it was like 1998. So I don't know, but last time I remember they were pretty good, and everybody keeps telling me they're still good. So Green Burrito, that kind of doesn't exist anymore. IHOP. It's been a while since I've been to an IHOP, and I remember them just being average, so we're just going to put that there. And again, that's not fast food. In-N-Out, definitely top tier. Definitely top tier. Everybody says their fries sucks, and that's not true. You just have to know how to order their fries. You don't get their regular fries. They're not good. You get their fries animal style. And then and it sounds disgusting and it looks disgusting, but they're amazing, believe me. They put a layer of American cheese, Thousand Island dressing, grilled onions on top of it, and it's beautiful. It looks foul. The first time I actually heard about them, we messed up our order, telling them the order, and they thought that we wanted not our hamburgers animal style, but our fries animal style. And we got them, and we were like, "What the fuck did they do to our fries?" And I was like, "All right, we'll try them." And then while we're on the way home, my friend tried them. He's like, "Oh, dude, they're disgusting looking, but they got game." And I've been hooked ever since. I don't know what Jack's is, and I don't know why their logo looks so much like Jack in the Box. So I don't know. But anyways, Jack in the Box, gotta agree with iDubbbz. The boiled tacos alone makes them worth the trip, and they're 2 for $1. Holy crap. Their Jumbo Jack is what I usually get when I go there. The Jumbo Jack with the sourdough Jack is pretty good. And they also have like this chicken fajita thing, which is great when I'm on a diet because they're like really low calorie. Jamba Juice, I'm straight, thank you. Jason's Deli, never heard. I haven't been to Jersey Mike's, or Jimmy John's. Johnny Rockets, not fast food, but do like me some 50s diners. Jollibee. Jollibee is the place where you want to go to get real, authentic Filipino food. Such staples as fried chicken, spaghetti, and hot dogs, and hamburgers. I mean, the quintessential Filipino food. And it's great because it's open up at 7 o'clock in the morning. You can get fresh fried chicken at 7 o'clock in the morning. Can't do that with shit-ass KFC, which is disgusting anyway. Yeah, we're going to put that one in disgusting. Krispy Kreme. I guess that technically qualifies as fast food, whatever. Krispy Kreme is definitely better than Dunkin' Donuts, but not really. Here, let's kind of organize these things a bit. So Chick-fil-A is better than Pollo Loco. Fat Burger is definitely better than Carl's. In-N-Out. And Jack. Probably the last of those. That seems to be in the right order, except I probably put that one on. It seems about right. Actually, I put that one. And Arby's is more disgusting than all of them. Okay. Oh, no, CC's is way worse. So, Crystals. I guess these are a knockoff of White Castle. Never been. Little Caesars is disgusting, but not nearly as disgusting as the other things on that list. Long John Silver's. We're going to put that in poor, but it's definitely better than Burger King. Kalish's Deli, never been. McDonald's. I'm currently boycotting McDonald's. Because they keep releasing their McRib, but never in my area for the last 2 years. So I said, until they get a McRib, I'm not going to eat McDonald's. But so they're going to get docked point. Normally they'd probably go in probably average, but because they've been screwing me over on the McRib, they're going in the poor category. Don't know what Moe's is. Panda Express. It's all right. I think a lot of people hate on it for no reason. Again, I'm not a soccer mom, so I've never been to Panera Bread. Papa John's is, I'm going to say, of the pizza places, it's probably one of the better ones. Did I list one up here somewhere? No, I didn't. But it's still a chain pizza place, and it's gross. Never been. Pizza Hut. Better than Little Caesars, but still disgusting. Popeyes. Where did I put Churches? It's going to be right underneath Churches. There we go. Right underneath Churches. There we go. Popeyes is great. Never been. I don't know what a Potbelly is. Quiznos. I haven't been there in a while. I haven't seen a Quiznos around in a while. But last time I checked, they were just average. Raising Cane's. I just had Raising Cane's. They're amazing. They're like In-N-Out, but with chicken. But we like our fast food. Deal with it. So McDonald's chicken selects are amazing. No, they're getting boycotted. Until I get my McRib, not eating there. Rita's never had. Sbarro, it's garbage, but they're not nearly as garbage as CC's. So the garbage. This is Shake Shack. Yeah, Shake Shack. If you ever go to a Shake Shack, you got to get their peanut butter burger. It's amazing. I don't know what Shits is, but I definitely don't want to eat it in a place called Sheets. Smash Burger, everybody tells you to go there. There's one near my house. I just haven't been around it. Smoothie King, no. Sonic. I'm going to put it here. It's basically like Dairy Queen, except they have more drink options, and their food is edible. I just put it average. At least their food is average, but they're the least of the average. Starbucks is overpriced. It's not disgusting, but it's overpriced. I want to put that above Denny's at least. I'd rather go to Starbucks than Denny's. Way overpriced. Steak and Shake. It's pretty good. Definitely some good tier. Subway. I'm going to put... let's see. Let's put it here. Let's put it there. Subway, it's not good. It's not good, but it's edible. Same with Taco Bell, but I'd much rather eat at Subway than Taco Bell. Taco Bueno is garbage. Hot garbage. I don't know what it is with the Midwest and Mexican food, but it's just bad. Actually, I know what the issue is, but that's a whole other topic. I haven't had any of these. Tasty Freeze. It's not fast food. It's not fast food. So that goes in there. Tim Hortons. I haven't been to Canada. Tropical. What is this? Tropical Smoothie Cafe. I'm going to pass. Waffle House. The food is disgusting, but it doesn't matter. It's amazing. Wawa. If you've ever been to a Waffle House or heard of Waffle House, you'll know what I'm talking about, guys. It's great. At 3 a.m. when you're drunk. Whatever. Wendy's I would used to put up here, and then Dave Thomas died, and then they just kind of go down here. They're probably the best of the poor. So I'm going to put them best of the poor. Whataburger is good, but it's a bit overrated. So I'm going to dock them a few points. I will put them probably right above Waffle House, I guess. White Castle, fucking amazing. And again, it's like it's kind of like that Waffle House situation. Which? Wiener Schnitzel. Fucking better than Whataburger for sure. All they do is hot dogs. You got to get that chili lovers combo. Wingstop. It's probably the best of the wing places, but it's not great. It's not great, but I definitely will say I'd want to eat there more than Church's for sure. And I don't know what these are. And that's it. That's my tier list for fast food. Did we ever decide what we want next? Nope. Then I get to decide. So let's do Pink Floyd albums. Are you guys familiar with Pink Floyd? At least with their catalog, I'm pretty sure you've heard of them. Let's see. Is this in order? This is definitely not in order. This is in alphabetical order, I think. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Pipers at the Gates of Dawn is a definite A. That's with Syd Barrett. It's like their only official album with Syd Barrett. And after he died, they kind of went crazy, didn't know what to do, and that's how we got the good stuff that came later. So this one, actually, you know what? Umaguma came out later. Or actually, which one? I don't remember which one came out first. Saucer Full of Secrets, I think. Saucer Full of Secrets I'm going to put as C tier. No, they're all good. I think there's only like one album on here that I genuinely don't like. We'll get to that. So I think the only one that I'm going to put in F tier is the only one I don't like, but they're all going to be a whole lot better than some of the music I hate. I'm familiar with Pink Floyd. Good. More, I'm going to say is also D tier as well. Atom Heart Mother. I'm going to put that right under Piper. That's a really good album, but yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of better stuff in their catalog. That's actually the last. Umaguma. I think a lot of people love this album, and I don't know why. It's not bad, but I know a lot of people that cite it as their favorite Pink Floyd album, and I just don't understand. I just don't understand that mentality at all. Echoes. What's it? Oh, it's metal. Yeah, this one's great. The middle tracks are kind of meh, but the first track and Echoes are the best. The best. Some of the best Pink Floyds I've ever heard in my life. Secured by Clouds. I'm going to put that in B tier as well, even though I'll probably put that, actually, put that higher up on that list. Animals, my favorite album, by far. Let's see, Dark Side of the Moon. I'll put that under Animals for sure. Wish You Were Here. Yeah, about there. Pink Floyd The Wall. I've heard it a million trillion times, and it's getting kind of annoying. If another Brick in the Wall, I've heard like a trillion times, and everybody wants to play it over and over again, and I'm just sick of hearing it. It's a good album. Don't get me wrong. I'm just sick of hearing it. Division Bell, not the biggest fan. Not a big fan, and I guess this is also the same thing, even though I haven't really given that too much of a listen, but I know it's pretty much the same era. Again, same era, though I'd probably say this probably might be a little bit better than that one. And then the Final Cut, do not like. So Trollbucks, is my Pink Floyd rating good? Is that accurate? Let's see. Presidential candidates. Do you want to do presidential candidates? Should we do presidential candidates or Mario Brothers? I'll let chat vote while I get my sips on. Seconds for you guys to get that. Pink Floyd is great. It's one of those bands you can kind of binge on. All right, let's do presidential candidates, since I know the least about these, I guess. So I don't know who that is. There's a lot of these people I don't know. Don't know who that is. Actually, rather, I don't care who these people are. I think it's Beto O'Rourke. Don't care who that is. Kind of don't know him either. I know him. Don't know him. Don't know him. He looks weird anyway. He has a dumb face. So Andrew Yang, obviously S tier. He's going to give me those Yang bucks and accelerate the decline. I don't know who that guy is either. So Andrew Yang, Yang Gang, Yang Gang, Yang Gang. Give me those neat bucks. Holla at your boy, Accelerationist crew. Gravel. Gravel is an interesting guy. B. He would be a B tier, but he did speak at a Holocaust denial event, so that's a docking on that one. Tabby Gibbler. I don't know her name, but she's definitely A tier. She's a socialist, but she's hard-nosed anti-war, so that's good. I don't know her name, but I know she's definitely F tier. Definitely F tier. I forget her name. What the hell is her name? It's on the tip of my tongue. I don't know her name. Biden would be C tier, but he likes to grope chicks. And that's pretty base, so he gets a B for based. Then we get Bernie Sanders. Do you remember Bernie Sanders? Hey guys, do you remember that meme last year or a couple of years ago called Bernie Sanders? Do you remember that one? Yeah, that was a great meme. But he's basically the grumpy cat of presidential candidates, meaning his meme is dead. I don't know who that guy was. Bill Weld. That's a D tier. In fact, he's actually worse than him because, Bernie Sanders was basically forced to endorse Hillary Clinton, whereas he just voluntarily did it while still running as a libertarian. I don't know who that chick is. Get out of here. Trump. I would put him in S tier, but he's been at the gay store lately, so we're going to put him in the... we don't have a G, so we can't put him in the gay... You know what? We can put him in the gay store. Let's do this. I'm going to put him in the gay store. There you go. Brump goes in the gay store. And then... I forget this guy's name, but he's definitely F tier. And then... Then we get, do we have a P, or we don't have a Pocahontas? We don't have a Pocahontas category. I guess we'll put her in A for Native American. Right? Let's put her in A for Native American. I think that's a fair. That's a fair. There's my presidential list. There you go. Yang Gang. Yang Gang, Yang Gang. Let's rank the genders. Which one was that? Let's close that one. Let's rank the genders. So our choices for genders is Hillary Clinton and Elon Musk. And Elon Musk actually does things and produces things, whereas Hillary Clinton does not. And that basically encapsulates every gender. Every gender that's ever existed is in right there. And you get an idea where we are in terms of genders. So there you go. That went pretty quick. I mean, I keep hearing there's like infinite amounts of genders, but I only saw 2 here. So I guess they were wrong. So let's go on to Christmas movies. By the way, we have some interesting ones coming up, especially the Lulberts one I'm going to do last, because that's the one I want to spend the most amount of time on and really explain in detail what all the stuff is. All right, so Charlie Brown's Christmas. Hold on, I have to check something with Charlie Brown's Christmas. Because I want to verify something. How long is it? 25 minutes. Okay. So, let's see. Add a row. Not a movie. So, I'm not going to rank these because they're not movies. If we're going to do Christmas movies, you can't have things that aren't Christmas movies. All right? Where is it? Where's the other one? There's another one that's not a movie. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's a TV special. Is there any other of those things? Oh, I have to check these ones. I think this one might be too. Let's zoom in a bit. Yep, let's zoom in so you guys can see what the fuck I'm doing. Mickey's Christmas Carol. Yeah, Mickey's Christmas Carol is also not a movie. I don't believe that's also a movie. I think a lot of these Disney Christmas films are not Christmas films. 12 Days of Christmas. Let's see. Mickey's 12 Days of Christmas. Video. It's not a movie. It's definitely not a movie. None of those are movies. So yeah, those are not a movie. And then we need to have one that's not a Christmas movie. So that's gonna be important later. Here we go. So, Christmas with the Crank. Actually, you know what? We need another one. We need F tier. This is F. Because Christmas with the Cranks is an F tier for sure. Zoom out a bit. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That is, that's a B tier. That's a good one. A Muppet Christmas Carol is definitely S tier. Muppet Christmas Carol is definitely S tier. Frosty the Snowman, that's a B tier. Elf, I thought was okay. Home Alone. Home Alone I used to think was really bad. And then I watched it again. It's not bad. It was actually fairly enjoyable. The sequel was just awful. Yeah, this one just awful. I'm gonna put that in D tier. It's no Christmas with the Cranks, but it is pretty bad. Jingle All the Way, again, another one of those movies I thought was really terrible. But then I watched it again, and it's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's about right. Let's do a Christmas Vacation. That's a definite A tier. A Polar Express, more like Uncanny Express, am I right? Uncanny Valley Express. Scrooge, A tier for sure. White Christmas, I'm going to say C tier. That's your grandma's Christmas movie. It's just a bunch of people singing Christmas stuff, and it's just kind of boring. Haven't seen this, so we're just going to leave that off the list. The Santa Claus, C tier. Miracle on 34th Street, that's definitely S tier for sure. Love Actually, never seen, so let's move that towards the end. I haven't seen this one either. My co-host with Recording in Progress told me that that's really phenomenal. I should watch it. It's a Wonderful Life. That goes in S tier, but better than Miracle on 34th Street. And Bad Santa, the best Christmas movie of all time. And we're going to put Die Hard in not a Christmas movie, because it's not a Christmas movie. If you think that it's a Christmas movie, you're just wrong. It's factually inaccurate. It has nothing to do with Christmas except for the setting. There's no Christmas miracle. There's no Christmas spirit. It's just a summer action flick that came out in July. I mean, it's not a Christmas movie. So we're just gonna pretend that's not a thing anymore. And we need an F tier for this one. There's definitely some F tier Star Wars movies. Let's get these out of the way because this should be really quick. Solo, garbage. I tried watching it twice and I could not get past the first 25 minutes. It's dark and stupid, and they took one tiny little thing that happened in the movie where they hang some dice on a mirror, and then go like, hey, let's make a movie about where you got those dice. Who gives a shit? Rogue One. That would be a really good movie if we got the original cut, but because we didn't, that's a C tier. And the only reason why it's getting a C tier is because the last 25 minutes or so was a great little action scene. But if you think this movie is so great, without using Google, tell me who the protagonist of the film was. I bet you can't do it. I thought this movie was really good when I first saw it. The Last Jedi. And after I kept thinking about it for a while, I realized that I was Phantom Menaced. And this is hot garbage. And the more I thought about it, the more I hated it. And then I tried watching it again once it came out on the public library. Holy fuck, is that movie terrible. What was I thinking? Let's go into the prequels. Do we have any more new ones? Oh, The Force Awakens. This I would have probably put like A tier-ish. But because now I know where it goes with The Last Jedi, it gets docked 2 points. But it's better than Rogue One for sure. And it's unfortunate because this was good and it had a lot of interesting things they could have done with it. But then Ryan Johnson came along and I was like, hey, you know, all those really interesting things that you were hoping would be explained in the next movie? Yeah, they were all nothing. It's just nothing. You're welcome. I hope that subverted your expectations. Eat shit. Let's see. Let's do the prequels. So the prequels, which one is... the Phantom Menace. I'm going to say that Phantom Menace is the worst of the worst. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to put The Last Jedi as the worst. This is pretty bad. And again, that's like one of those movies I went into the theaters and was like, yeah, that movie was great. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. No. No, it's... No. Oh, no. No. This one I actually walked out in the theater, and that was episode 2. I'm going to say that it's worse than The Last Jedi because I could probably sit through The Last Jedi. I tried watching this movie like 10 times. I can't get through the first half. I can't do it. I can't. It's so bad. It's painful to watch. And this one is the only watchable one, but if that's your claim to fame that it's just watchable, it goes in the D tier. It's probably going to be the highest D tier, but it's going to be the only one in D tier because all these ones are good. Let's go to the original trilogy. So yeah, we're going to put this one here. It's The New Hope. It's the first one. I'm going to put that in A tier. We're going to put Empire Strikes Back as S tier. It's clearly the best one. And then we're going to put The Last Jedi here because it's clearly better, just a little bit better than A New Hope. Come at me, bro. All right, let's get all the nerd stuff out of the way. Nerd. Let's do sodas. Oh, all the sodas. This should be a really quick one to go through. So first one, let's get all the stuff that I haven't tried out of the way. I don't know what Storm is. I don't know what is this, Sorcerers. I don't know what this is. I haven't had any Stewarts. I don't care about the Mexican sodas that taste like fruit. I don't care about any soda that tastes like fruit. And Jones Soda. No, I've had Jones Soda. I'm going to put that on the list. Those are any ones that I haven't had. I think that might... Oh, I don't know what that is. I think that might be it. Cherry 7-Up. Pretty fucking good. I don't get it regularly, but it's pretty fucking good when I do get it. 7-Up is just B. A&W is one of the better root beers, but not the best root beer. I do love me some cream soda. Barks might be just a little under A&W. Just barely. Just barely. Balls. I'm going to put B for Balls. I haven't had the root beer, but I have had the original. The original is better than the diet one for sure, and I like diet stuff better. Cactus Cooler, that's a D tier. Ginger Ale, that's the bottom of B tier. It's really great though. Anything that caffeine free, that's originally caffeinated, just goes in the trash always. Cherry Coca-Cola, probably the best of the A tiers for sure. I think this is Vanilla Coke. Is this Vanilla Coke? Is that Vanilla Coke? Cream soda gang. Yeah. I wish there was a good diet cream soda, but unfortunately there's not. So let's put this one in the top of A tier. Coke Zero is the best. Fight me. Coke Zero is just the best. Then regular Coca-Cola goes underneath it. But it's not nearly as good as Mexican Coke. Mexican Coke is king. Mr. Pibb is trash. Not all flavors of Mountain Dew go in the trash because they're garbage, and if you drink them, you are also garbage. All orange sodas are garbage. Kel may like orange soda, but Jim don't like orange soda. He don't. Cherry Vanilla Dr. Pepper, that's some top tier A stuff, but not quite S tier. Coke Zero is definitely better than Diet Coke. Let's do Diet Coke right now. Diet Coke is at the bottom of... I would top it. Let's do top of B tier. Pepsi, C. They have done studies and shown that like people in a blind taste test can't tell the difference between Pepsi and things like RC Cola and Shasta. So that's why I say that Pepsi is basically an overpriced Shasta, and because they're exactly the same, I'm going to give RC the slight edge because it's slightly cheaper. However, their sugar-free one is just a little bit better. And their vanilla is, I'm going to say just slightly better than regular. I'm not a big fan of Pepsi. And I've done the Pepsi challenge. I still don't like it. Dad's Root Beer. Dad's Root Beer is not that great. Just not good. Diet Pepsi is the trash of the trash. It tastes like there's Windex in it. I don't know why it tastes like there's Windex in it, but it's disgusting. It just needs to die. Cherry Dr. Pepper is pretty good. I'm going to put that one there. Dr. Pepper is good. I think I like regular Dr. Pepper more than that. Why isn't there's no Diet Dr. Pepper on this list? Surge, I used to like think it was terrible, and then I tried it. They had it re-released at Burger King, and I was like, oh, I'll try it. And I had to eat at Burger King in order to try it, but it was actually pretty good. I'm going to put it top of B tier, just right under Diet Coke. Squirt is definitely A tier, only because it tastes just like White Monsters. White Monster Ultra. And Faygo is disgusting. Crush is disgusting. Is anyone else that's disgusting? Crystal Pepsi. Crystal Pepsi is probably, I would say, yeah, it's about right there. And balls actually should go down further. Again, I don't know about this. I think that's tamarind soda. No, thank you. Jolt Cola tastes like butt, but I'm telling you, back in the day, that was our energy drink. And if you had Jolt Cola and you brought it to school, everybody was like, whoa, your mom let you have Jolt Cola? No fucking way. Like, yeah, you were the coolest kid in school if you fucking had Jolt Cola. Like, geez, everyone thought your parents, of course the teachers thought you were being abused, but whatever. IBC is the best of the root beers, and it's going to be better than A&W's cream soda. And their root beer is probably not going to be as good as the cream soda, but it's pretty good. Mellow Yellow is meh, even though someone I know actually has been in a Mellow Yellow commercial. Mexican Pepsi, I'm going to put at the top. No. Let's put it under. Let's put it right above A&W. Let's put it right above A&W. Cherry Pepsi. This is what you do. Like, if you're ever in a restaurant, IBC root beer. Sorry. If you're ever at a restaurant and all they have is Diet Pepsi, what you do is you put Diet Pepsi, you fill it up, and then you add a splash of Cherry Pepsi, and it makes that Windex taste just kind of go away. So because it can do that, I'm going to rate it higher than Diet Coke. So that's really good. Sprite, that's just average. All of these lemon lime drinks are just average. And then lemonade, let's put above Surge for sure. Pink lemonade's not nearly as good as regular lemonade. Put that there. Oh, come on. There we are. Jones is it could be the best of the C tier. Some of their flavors are really good. Some of their flavors is just, I don't know what I'm drinking right now. And then this is probably the king. I don't even know what these things are called, but they have the little glass of marble in them. They're fucking great. They're Korean, I think. Whatever. Political ideologies. Let's do political ideologies. I don't know which one's gay. Let me find out which one's gay. Anarcha. That's so stupid. That's purple. Okay. So the feminist one is the purple one, and that's a gay ass. What? Someone put? I didn't put that there. It's literally gay ass. And so, or no, it's not quite gay ass. We'll put that in D tier, and then we'll put the anarcho gay, homosexual, whatever it's called. What is it? What is it called? Anarcho queer, I think it's what it is. See, queer anarchism, anarcha queer. Yeah, that's a gay ass for sure. It's literally gay. Anarcho syndicalism is just completely incoherent. Anarcho-communism At least they have the balls to admit that they have concentration camps. I guess so does so do they. So we'll put them up there. At least they admit. At least they admit that they have concentration camps. That's pretty fucking based. Pacifism is just hot garbage. Anarcho-technocrat, or no, what is it? Anarcho-transhumanist, excuse me. Anarcho-transhumanists get the A tier. Anarcho-green. I like camping, but I don't want to camp my whole life, thank you. Anarcho-individualist. I'm going to put that above to the transhumanists. But not quite. What is the difference between the green? What is a light green? God damn it. Is there a difference between the light and dark green? Green anarchism. Oh, come on. Anarcho-primitivism. Okay, so I guess... No? I don't know. They're the same. Whatever, they're the same. I don't know what this is, so it must be gay if I don't know what it is, and I don't know what this is, so that must be gay. NCAP would be A tier if we didn't have cartoon NCAP, so it's probably going to be the best of the A tier. For sure. Neo-reaction is B tier. We're going to put socialists, gay, Republicans, they're closet gay, so it doesn't really count. But they're no Republicans. So let's put Republicans in C tier. Then we're going to go over to the Democrats and put them, we're going to put them right, let's put them right there. They're better than the other ones, I guess. No, you know what? Let's give them a little credit. They got Tabby Gibbard. Minarchism. McToast. See you in 6 months. Nazball. Which one's is this? Nazball? Yeah, this is Nazball. This is just incoherent. Any kind of flavor of fascism is just incoherent. Christian anarchist or communism just sounds pretty. That sounds pretty lame. I don't know what this. Oh, this is agorism. Agorism is somewhere in there, somewhere between those two. You know, I'm gonna docket one. I'm gonna docket one because furries like it. And then I don't know what this is. I guess Marxists. I don't know. It says something. I can't see the full logo. Maoism is utter trash tier. Utter trash tier. And you know what? Let's put these two there. Yeah, let's put those two there because they're worse than anarcho-communism, but they're clearly better than these. At least I could eat in fascism, I guess. Yeah, I saw your Molyneux cocaine one. That was fucking brilliant. Teabaggers. Let's put it right there. Yeah, I saw your Molyneux cocaine video. You know what? Let's watch it. Let's just take a break from the ideological thing and then watch your video. Let's see. Go to channel. Let's make sure that my desktop audio is going to play when I do it. Yep. Okay. Nope. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. There we go. And Meffy, did you get that? Yeah.
So I don't do drugs. I've never smoked marijuana or done cocaine or LSD or mushrooms or anything like that.
I'm going to have to pause it for just a second because I know I'm probably going to get hit with the copyright thing any second now. Let me check my email. Check my live dashboard. Okay, we're still healthy. Okay, we're good.
so I don't do drugs.
You know, what happens when you just hand someone just millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin and they cash it out? Cocaine sounds pretty good. All right, so let's turn my desktop audio off now. Stalinism is the biggest gay of all. And you know what? I'm going to put Maoism as worse. Marxism, we're going to put a little bit better than that. I don't know what this is, so it's pretty gay. Fascism, again, incoherent ideology. Don't know what that is, so it sounds pretty gay. Let's put it at the top of the gay. This is some sort of white nationalist. I recognize that rune. Mutualism. Mutualism gets a C, and it gets the middle one because they're just middle of the road. Monarchism gets a. Let's just put it best B. Let's put it best B. Juche, North Korea's best Korea, obviously. And then this is. Can we just admit that these are the same thing? Can we just admit that this is the same thing? It's the same thing. God damn it! I don't know what this is. E. Is that Markiplier's? I guess it's some sort of collectivist anarchism. That's what all of those are. You stop being a snowflake with your ideologies. I think that's Leninism. Lenin gets better than Stalin. I don't know who this guy is. He seems pretty gay. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. It doesn't matter. Yeah, though that's my political tier list. Fight me. All right, let's see. God, this is gonna take forever. This is really gonna take forever. All right, the crow. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. I don't know why it's so hard for people to make an F. Just put an F in it, please, and make it to green. There we go. F. Catwoman. Batman and Robin is actually worse than Catwoman. Let's do all the Fs out of the way. Suicide Squad. Probably the better of the worst ones. This one. I'm just going to skip over the ones I haven't seen. So you'll find out which ones I haven't seen at the end of it. This one's pretty bad. It was probably the best of the worst so far. Spawn was pretty fucking bad. It's better than that one, though. Superman 3 was pretty bad, but I'm going to put it D tier. But the one that was worse was Superman 4. That's actually the worst of the worst. It's actually worse than Batman and Robin. Is there anyone else that's worse? Oh, Captain America might actually be the worst of the worst. The original Captain America. Just making sure I get all the really, really bad ones. Oh, this one's... Nah, we'll get to that one, I guess. Oh, Shaq Steel. Oh, my God. It's not nearly as bad as those ones, though. Supergirl was pretty fucking terrible. But it still was better than Batman 4. Actually, it's probably better than Batman and Robin, too. Is there anyone else that I'm missing? Oh, wait, that's World of Peace. Wait, which one is that one? Is that 2? That is Superman 2. All right, we'll put that one back off. All right, I think that might actually be all of the really worst one. Oh, the Punisher is pretty bad. Yeah, that might be the worst. Okay, I haven't seen Big Six. The Crow was not that good. Sorry, guys, it's not. I haven't seen any of the Hellboys, new or old. Blade Trinity was actually pretty bad. One of the first 2 were good. Haven't seen Powerpuff Girls or Captain Power. I haven't seen this one, and I've been keep meaning to see it. The 2007 Ninja Turtles. Is that any good? Have you guys seen this one? I haven't seen it. Have not seen it. So Thor Ragnarok is definitely S tier. Infinity War, S tier. prom. And the only thing that was better than Infinity War was Endgame. Sorry, it was. It just was. But none of them were as good. No, I'm just kidding. Guardians of the Galaxy definitely goes up there. Where's the Guardians of the Galaxy 2? I'm surprised. Lie. I don't know what this is. What is this Blade? I don't know what Blade this is, but I can't tell the difference between the Blade movies. They're C. They're better than The Crow for sure. Oh, really? Why is that? Hey, Eagle, do you want to hop on after I get done with my libertarian list? We can skip through these. You know, we don't need to do this one. We could skip this one. Let's just move it right along. Oh, yeah. I've been seeing some of the stuff they've been posting on Facebook. I don't know why it comes at the top of my feed, but I've been seeing it the last couple of days when I was trying to buy peppers. Let's talk about it. Get your things ready to set up to live stream if you want to hop on and let me know. And we'll do that after we're done with this. Let's see. Darkman. Haven't seen Darkman. The Ninja Turtles was meh. The new Ninja Turtles, rather. What is this? Is this like the sequel? I don't know what this one is. Doctor Strange was A tier. Hancock was D tier. This is the new class. I haven't seen it. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is better than the first one, but it's still good. Batman 89 for sure. Come on. Best of the S tier. Power Rangers. I never got into Power Rangers. Yeah, just make sure you're in Discord and I'll let you know what to do when we get there. So Power Rangers. I thought Power Rangers was really good, and I never was a fan of the TV show. It was definitely just right outside of my age group right when it came out. Ant-Man was pretty good. I'd say it's better than Power Rangers for sure. You know what? B is about right. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World I thought was pretty good. The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises is the best because it's the most memeable. Fight me. Fantastic was pretty fucking bad. It's probably about right. Is it Superman Returns? Or this is Man of Steel. Man of Steel is fucking trash. Judge Dredd was trash. Batman vs. Superman was trash. How did I miss all those? V for Vendetta, I'm going to put that in trash because once you read the book, you realize how trashy it is. How come I'm not getting all of the chat messages? It's live chat. There we go. I can see everything. Oh, The Punisher was also trash. Both Punisher movies were trash. Is this the original X-Men? I can't tell. Can't tell which one was the original. Batman Forever, I probably would say was awful. But it's a bit nostalgic for me, so I'm going to put that in B tier. Watchmen was fucking amazing. If you watch the 3-hour version, it's actually really good. It's not as good as a comic, obviously, but they don't destroy it like V for Vendetta was destroyed. Ghost Rider, again, trash tier. Ninja Turtles goes in B tier. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is definitely... I'm going to put that between Ragnarok and my cat. Hulk was awful. I don't know what Ninja Turtles. I think this is the sequel. No, that's the original. This is the original, and then that's the sequel, I think. Ninja Turtles 2. Yeah, that's a little 2, I think, at the end. Let me see. Zoom in. No, that's not 2. Oh, that is the second one, though. Okay. Yeah. My cat has never seen a fly before, and now she's chasing one around my apartment. This is great. Constantine was pretty bad. Dread. Oh, my God. This is one of the most underrated films of all time. You have to watch it. It's fucking amazing. I just love it. I don't know what that is. I don't know what any of these X-Men movies are. I don't know which one's which. Oh, yeah. Green Lantern's garbage. Iron Man. Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 gets a B tier. Dark Knight Rises. Not nearly as good as those two. But definitely... yeah. Let's put it right between there. The Mask is alright. It's not trash. Mask is B tier. Deadpool 2. Oh, come on. Deadpool 2. There. I'm already bored with this one. There's just too much shit. Amazing Spider-Man. You know what? Let's just do all the stuff that really matters. This is trash. This is trash. Blade 2 was okay. It wasn't as good as Blade, but it's still... I don't know what this is. I'm not sure. Let's see. Ant-Man versus the Wasp. Let's do... Where did I put regular Ant-Man? Ant-Man 2 was better than Ant-Man 1. Never seen any of the Kick-Ass. Never seen the Incredibles. I know. Incredible Hulk was actually not bad. You know, I'm already bored of this one. You get the idea. Fuck Mario. Let's do Kevin Smith. Fuck Kevin Smith. Let's just do the Lulberts and get it over with. That way we can get eagle-eyed, because I want to hear what his issue is. I'm pretty sure he's been seeing more of Facebook stuff than I have, since I basically sort of been, or not sort of, I definitely have been moving away from Facebook to the point where I just pretty much don't use it anymore unless I need it. Use it for specific things, talking to specific people, finding stuff in the marketplace. I just bought some pepper plants off of it the other day. So, yeah. All right, so let's go through this. And I know a lot of people have been like, who are all these people? And I wonder if I can find it real quick. Where's the tier list? What did I do with it? Oh, man. So I'm going to put... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Tier. Can I get tiers? Thank you. Where'd it go? There we go. So I'm going to post this in the chat room so you guys can get an idea of who these people are in case you want to do it yourself. Like... Because I know a lot of people were asking, like, who are all these people? There's so many people, Jim. I don't know who all these people are. That link works, right? Yep. There you go. So there's a link. There's a kind of brief information about who these people are, at least a name so you can Google them if you want more information. There's there. So let's start from the top, I guess. Ian Freeman. I would put him in B tier. I'm going to put him down a little bit just because some of the stuff he said about his history and age of consent. His 14-year-old girlfriend. It's all pretty fucking gross. But other than that, like, Free Talk Live is really great. The Liberty Radio Network is really great. You know, I'll put it up in B. Other than all that stuff, I mean, all that gross stuff, it's pretty good. And I think he's since kind of moved away from all that stuff anyway. Last time I checked, he's been moving away from that stuff. I guess Mark Edge, his co-host, has been called. You know what? That's someone I forgot to add to this list. Oh, God. Phobies. God, I never could say it. Phobia. Fucking get back on Discord. Come on. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. Lions of Liberty. Love this show. It's not as good as Free Talk Live, but it's pretty good. David Gordon. It's pretty based. He's a Austrian economist philosopher guy. Can't do anything well. Yeah, that's... I think the first time I heard anyone say that was actually Ian Freeman, Free Talk Live, who at the time had Cantwell on as a co-host of Free Talk Live. Rich Paul is F'd here. Rich Paul has been resting on his laurels for a while, Okay, you didn't snitch on your friends. Now do something productive besides being an alcoholic in your van. And take a bath. The only interaction that I ever had with this guy was when I did my review series for Alongside Night. I guess he was selling Blu-ray copies of this thing. You're a meat popsicle. Anyways, I was throwing shade at that movie, and since he sells Blu-ray copies of it, he came to like defend it, and the way he defended it was asking me, what have I ever done for liberty? And I said, by you asking such a stupid question, definitely more than you. And then he blocked me. He got ass mad and blocked me because he has a very fragile ego. Hans Hermann Hoppe. And I'm not the biggest fan of his conservatives kind of viewpoint, and if it was just left at that, it would have been probably right here. But his advocation for the way he wants to the privatize the roads after the state collapses to exclude immigrants is just highly flawed, to say the least. Argumentation ethics is also highly flawed. I think everything that he's really contributed, there's just been major issues with, and not even like I just don't like it type of thing. It's just philosophically there's just major gaping holes in it, and it's unfortunate because he seems like a really interesting guy. He's also I don't like the way he speaks either. It's hard for me to be interested in it because he's always so to speak, vis-a-vis whatever, which is funny as in terms of a meme, but actually trying to trudge through one of his talks is pretty bad. But Democracy, the God That Failed, aside from all the argumentation ethics stuff, was pretty decent. Mr. Dapperton, he's a cool dude. I'm not the biggest fan of his content, but he's a cool dude, so he gets a B tier, and he is the biggest libertarian boomer ever. Christopher Cantwell is definitely F tier for sure. Who said he was S tier? Oh, Kokesh. We'll get to Kokesh in due time. You know what? Let's put him down the list a little bit so that way we can have some fun later. Avens O'Brien, she's a writer. Even though the publication she writes for is pretty trash, she is not. She's actually pretty cool, and I've actually got to hang out with her and some of the other kind of libertarians in her circle and had dinner with all of them. They were awesome. And there's also lots of nudes. There's lots of nudes of her if you're interested. I'm not going to link it. You're going to have to look it up. She likes to post lewds. Ron Paul would probably get A tier, but his presidential campaigns have been, what are you doing? Why are you appealing to these people? Why are you reaching out to these people? Why are you working deals with these people? What is in your newsletter? Oh my God. Brian Kaplan is fucking great. If you haven't had the opportunity to read Why I'm Not an Austrian, yeah, it's really hard to listen to Hoppe. Really hard. If you haven't had a chance to listen to Why I'm Not an Austrian or read Why I'm Not an Austrian by Brian Kaplan and his back and forth with Walter Block, who we'll get to in time, I highly recommend you read that exchange back and forth. It's really enlightening. It's one of the things that kind of got me to move away from the Austrian school and more towards Chicago and some neoclassical stuff, kind of ANCAP neoclassical stuff, George Mason University stuff. Doug Casey is fucking pretty awesome dude. I don't know too much about him except for his institute's pretty badass as well. Seamus is fucking hilarious. He's better than Brian for sure. Bitbutter. If you're not subscribed to Bitbutter, do it right now. BITBUTTER. Bitbutter. He is he's kind of the same kind of an ANCAP that I am, kind of Chicago, not really interested in the NAP or deontological ethics and stuff. Here, let's move this one down a little bit because that's going to be fun to talk about with all the other cartoons. Eric July. I'm not the biggest fan of the stuff he does on his channel, mostly because he talks a lot about like comic books and he kind of gets a little bit triggered by things that people say. But his hip hop is pretty good, but backwards is just awful. So I'm just going to put it in B. And it's I guess that's just preferences. I'm not a big fan of backwards. I can't stand Ron Paul. Yeah, he never really was a good public speaker. I mean, the Ron Paul revolution was great and all, but at the same time, it's like, oh, these newsletters, what are you doing? Ernie Hancock, I'll tell you what, man, you get on this, there, that thing, whatever, and they're talking about they, they're, them, they're those, and I'm talking about it, and I'm sitting here going like, whoa, man, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna put him in B tier. He's a really cool guy. I got to hang out with him at Jackfest, but he's an anti-vaxxer, so he gets docked down a few points. Jared Howe, and look, if you have to be Christopher Cantwell's flunky, I mean, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life? Anyway, of course, because I am a Satanist and an egoist of sorts. I love myself more than anyone else. I'm clearly the best. But that's only from my perspective, because if it wasn't for me, none of these other ones would matter to me at all, because the universe would just end. His Twitter account is fucking dank. I haven't got a chance to listen to his podcast, so let's put him here. Jeff Berwick, con artist, in every stretch of the imagination. He just keeps ripping people off, and everybody just is like, "Oh, Jeff Berwick never do something like that." Yeah, he conned people out of millions of dollars allegedly in New Mexico, and allegedly ripped off millions of people. Well, not millions of people, millions of dollars worth of money selling bogus passports that are fraudulently begotten, but tells everyone, "Oh no, they're completely legal and legit," but they're not. They're obtained illegally and by bribes, and they're illegal to possess. And a lot of people who ordered them never fucking got them because their moles or whatever got arrested, and he's been spending all the money instead of we're trying to recoup all the people who lost their money. He's been spending it all on booze. Jeffrey Tucker, I like Jeffrey Tucker. Come at me, bro. I really do. And he's a really cool guy. He's a little bit weird, and I think he got a little bit too off the deep end when it came to the alt-right stuff. But other than that, he's pretty good. Can't well Jewish commie. So nothing. Yeah. Okay. John Stossel. I'm gonna put him top of B tier. He does a lot of great work, but sometimes he can be a little bit of a boomer. Kurt Doolittle is just hot trash. I mean, even though he completed the scientific method, I don't even know what to say. Justin, is that Amash? Yeah, that's Justin Amash. Out of all of the Libertarian Congress critter, I think he's the best one. Brian Sovereign would not really call himself a libertarian, even though he fits all of the check boxes. Like, he likes markets and stuff. He just doesn't like libertarians, so that's why he doesn't use the term. I'm going to press exit out on that. But either way, he's definitely top tier. I should move him down because his takes on movies and music are just trash. I mean, he thinks... who was the guy that directed... Let's see. There we are. He thinks Paul W.S. Anderson is the best director of all time. Let me say that again. Paul W.S. Anderson. Not the guy that did The Master and Boogie Nights. No. The guy that did, like, Mortal Kombat and Resident Evil. He thinks that those are some of the best movies ever made, and he's, like, the best director ever to ever live. It's just bizarre. I don't know what the fuck he's even... I don't even know how to respond to that idiocy. But other than that, like, his stuff on tech is just fucking the best. And if he does a lot of really good audiobooks in his Patreon. I guess it's not a Patreon anymore. It's Podbean. Even though the Podbean app sucks and I'm going to move away from it too. For like $2 a month, like, that's like some of the best content you'll ever get on podcasts by far. But God, his music takes are just, and his movie takes are just bad. Just awful. Larkin Rose, I've had some personal beef with him, but he seems like he's principled and all that stuff. I'm gonna move him down. I'm gonna put him at top of C tier for sure. Top of C tier. I remember there was some issues with Molyneux, and when the Molyneux DMCA thing came out, like, he was having some back and forth with me and accused me of being a Fed because I was saying things that were verifiably true, that the DMCA is a law signed by Bill Clinton and not an internal YouTube policy. Michael Malice is definitely the best ANCAP, I think, on any kind of media. Yeah, he can be a psycho retard at times, but other times he makes up for it. So I don't know. I'm kind of mixed feelings about Larkin. I have mixed feelings. But anyways, Michael Malice just came out with a new book called The New Right, which I just wrapped up. I'm actually going to read it again because it's that good. I was really amazed with it. Meffy, what are you doing? Leave that fly alone. It ain't bothering you. No, it's not bothering you. Oh, let's move you towards the end. Let's move this guy towards the very end, Nick Sarwalk, because that's going to be important later when I get Eagle Eye to come on. Lou Rockwell. Lou Rockwell has, let's put him at the top of C tier. Lou Rockwell has done some great things. He started the LVMI. He was also instrumental in pushing the digital media campaign of the LVMI. But at the same time, he runs LouRockwell.com, which is a hot mess at times, especially for the, I want to say for the 10 years the first 10 years I was a libertarian, all I kept seeing on there was 9/11 was an inside job. 9/11 was an inside job. Don't vaccinate your kids. That and, he kind of, he still is on this thing about we should support these ultra far right candidates because of the Buchanan Rothbard alliance, which I have mixed feelings about, but he takes it a step too far. And I think he was also instrumental in some of the things that were on Ron Paul's terrible newsletter. Justin Raimondo would get an A tier because of antiwar.com, but because he was so Trumpian, I'm going to dock him 1 point. Other than that, he's pretty cool. David D. Friedman, fucking awesome. And he gets an extra point on top of that one because he he had the wherewithal to take down a cartoon ANCAP, and that was pretty good. Michael Huemer probably wrote one of the best books on libertarianism, The Problem with Political Authority. Highly recommend it. You're probably going to have to find a copy that fell off a truck, if you know what I mean, because I think even the digital copy is like $30. It's just ridiculous how much that book costs. Charles Murray, I'm going to put him in D tier. I can't wait to meet him, though. I think his takes are pretty bad at times. John McAfee, look, if anyone can actually get through with fucking a whale, you have my highest regards. Highest regards. You are definitely a man worth. You are definitely someone. You are definitely a contender. I definitely don't want to be on the outs with you at all. Leave that poor fly alone, Meffy. She just did a Matrix backflip just right now. It was pretty neat. Mary Ruart. Mary Ruart would probably get an A, but her takes on child porn gets her docked a couple of points. But if you're definitely on the left, I know I have communists who watch my channel. There's an interesting book. You should probably give it a read, maybe if not to critique it, called Healing Our World. It's a really great book. It was probably one of the books, definitely one of the books that kind of helped me kind of finish making my leap from the far left. Well, I wasn't really far left. I would say I was a green. I wasn't like a communist or anything, but I was verging on that. But she would kind of help me from becoming a Democrat, like a progressive Democrat, over to being a libertarian for sure. And that book was instrumental. But one of her other books defended child pornography from a libertarian standpoint. No. Andreas Antonopoulos, the guy's awesome. If you're interested in Bitcoin or want to be interested in Bitcoin, there's lots of talks and books that this guy has done and written. Highly recommend checking them all out. I think everyone bashes on Rand Paul a little too hard because he's not completely principled, but I think he's just playing the game. So I'm going to put him right there. It seems about right. Let's put Andreas on. No, I think that's all right. Let me make sure. I like Jeffrey Tucker more than Gordon. Okay. Doug Stanhope, fucking hilarious. He's a great stand-up comedian. Roger Ver, Bitcoin Jesus. I want to put him one step down from Antonopoulos. I think he does much better work explaining Bitcoin, but yeah, I think he does more practical stuff about getting Bitcoin more adopted. So, Dave Smith, I like him. Let's put him above Raimondo. Molyneux. Oh God, Molyneux. UPB is probably one of the worst things I've ever read. I mean, like in some respects, like he kind of helped me understand a lot of like economics a little bit better, and I thought he was like teaching me philosophy pretty well. Dave Smith is pretty awesome. I will say this about Dave Smith, off Molyneux for a second. Dave Smith, he released a comedy tape, and I listened to the whole thing. It was good, but I don't think it was funny. It was more kind of like listening to a political podcast, a live political podcast. And in that respect, it was good. I just didn't find his comedy comedic. You know what I mean? Like I've heard him be on his podcast, and I've heard him say funny things on his podcast, but that album wasn't funny to me, but a lot of people did think it's funny. So, I guess it's just a preference. That said, I'm not going to say it was a bad time listening to it. I highly recommend listening to it. I just don't think it was almost kind of like the death of the artist type of thing, you know? Where it's like we don't really care what you were trying to go with that. It went somewhere else that I really did like instead. So there's that. So anyways, yeah, Molyneux. I thought I was learning philosophy going through him and listening to a lot of stuff. And then it really wasn't until I stopped listening to Molyneux and started disliking him that I started digging into philosophy, and I realized like how little I knew about philosophy compared to how much I thought I knew about philosophy. He's by far one of the worst philosophers ever. Yeah. I think Dave Smith is funnier when he's not trying. Stephan Kinsella. I love Stephan Kinsella. I'm gonna put him right there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Stephan Kinsella is great, but he's base as fuck and he's ruthless. Stephan Kinsella is a intellectual property rights, anti-intellectual property rights advocate. At the same time, he's also a patent attorney. He lives in Houston, and he basically fights copyright trolls for a living. And it's kind of interesting to listen to a guy saying, like, hey, my industry, the industry that I make lots of money in, should be abolished. I think that's kind of an interesting kind of take. Penn and Teller, fucking great. I love Penn and Teller. I get to see him every... By the way, I still have 2 tickets to go see him. I really need to go see him before my tickets expire. Length Unathar. I'm going to put him in A tier. Actually, you know what? Let me put him up here because I got to hear him a little bit clarify his position on age of consent, which I thought was super hot, but it looks like it really wasn't that hot of a take after all. So I'm going to put him the bottom of S tier, which is still fucking amazing praise. I'm not a big fan of Julie Borowski's comedy, but she is cool. And yeah, she also follows me on Twitter, I think. I think she still follows me on Twitter. Shane Killian is fucking insane. Because that's all I need to say about that. He's fucking insane. If you don't believe me, try disagreeing with him in the comment section and see how well he treats you. It's so bizarre. I mean, I'm pretty hostile to people who are critical of me. That's mostly because I'm a troll. You mean before Penn expires? Penn is not going to die. Penn will live forever. He had a heart attack and he was like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to eat plants." Yeah, I don't mind the speech impediment because we're going to get into someone that does have a speech impediment that I actually generally really do like, even though I disagree with them on a lot of stuff. Judge Napolitano, I'm going to give him top of B tier. Judge Napolitano is pretty cool. I kind of miss having a show on, was it Fox Business was it on? Or regular Fox? I don't remember what channel it was on. We had a show on Fox, and he was an ANCAP who had a show on the top-rated news channels. Really cool guy. Let's put Disenthrall. Let's put him somewhere in the middle B tier. He's pretty good. Though his response to Bitbutter's article about the NAP was pretty bad. He was also pretty instrumental in getting people to understand how evil someone else was on this list that we'll be going through later. The Philosopher. That's pretty cringe, bro. Why you keep posting cringe? She's cute and all, but you know, and she's a good speaker, but there's just so much cringe on her channel. I don't even know where to begin. Let's put Walter Block at the bottom of B tier. He's pretty good. I do enjoy him, and I can also do a pretty good impression of him. And maybe we'll do that some of these days. Now, I had put James Weeks at C tier because he had been supporting like the Libertarian Socialist Caucus. No, James, what are you doing? No. But because he upset the Libertarian Party, and which we'll get into with Legal Eye. We'll get into that in due time. Here, let me move you down to the recording room. I won't be able to hear you yet. Let me add you to Live Zipper. There you go. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, Tom Wood Show. The Tom Wood Show is great, but it's the bottom of the B tier because he can be a little bit of a boomer sometimes. I like Ben Swan, but he's going to go at the bottom of B tier because sometimes he gets into trutherism. Let me check on the chat real quick. Let's see. Oh, God. Let's see. Judge Knapp has gone full anti-Trump. Oh, has he? That's interesting. Because I think he actually supported Trump at the very beginning. The Asian chick doesn't have a speech impediment. She's just it's just the accent. Yes, Breeze. Tatiana Moroz. I'm not the biggest fan of her music, but she's pretty cool. Anarchy Ball. Used to be good. And then he got really bad. And then they got really bad, I guess. And one can't help but notice. That the time they started getting really bad was about the time they started doxing Mr. Dapperton. So maybe all the really funny stuff that they were producing was made by Mr. Dapperton, which is funny because I don't like his stuff alone, but too much. I mean, sometimes it's pretty good. But that says a lot. It says a lot. I'm just going to say that. Speaking of speech impediments, Yarn Brook. We're going to put him at the top of C tier because he is a Randroid, but it's some of the stuff he talks about, it's pretty good. It's kind of a really good intro to objectivism, libertarian objectivism, flavors of objectivism, even though some of the stuff he says is just like, no thanks. I don't know who this guy is. Prax had told me to add him. I guess he works for the Ron Paul Institute. I'm not too familiar with him. Liberty Hangout goes to the very bottom. Very, very bottom. You know what? I'm going to let's put it like this. Let's see. Let me move Shane Killian. He's definitely better than all of those people for sure. Even though he is insane. He's definitely better than all of those people for sure. But Liberty Hangout. Hey, guys, we're ANCAPs. We're ANCAPs, guys. And then all of their content is like, why does everyone hate us conservatives? I'm a conservative. And then most of the channel is dedicated to hamburger legs, who shat her pants. Or hot dog legs, sorry. I like Yarn, but I find it difficult to listen to him because he has a real... Yeah. Have you noticed that his speech impediment is almost identical to our good friend Voice of Reasons? I'm just going to say. I think every time I listen to him, I can't help but think about Voice of Reason. Nick Gillespie, Reason Magazine. Let's put Reason Magazine there. And because Reason Magazine, we might as well do the other Reason Magazine guy. So Nick Gillespie and Matt Walsh. And I like Matt Walsh more than Gillespie, but I like them both. It's a tough choice, but I've already thought about it. McToast, F tier. McToast, F tier. David D. Griffin is a conspiratard, so he gets to the bottom of C, but his libertarian stuff is pretty good. But his conspiracy theories about the Federal Reserve are just bad. I used to believe in all of that stuff until I actually started doing some digging around it, and I actually did a podcast, which is on this channel. You can go check out, where I talk about some of the mistakes that he made in his books and writings about the Federal Reserve. Highly recommend you go check those out. I'm just kidding, by the way. Toast goes top of B tier. He's a cool guy, but his philosophy is... I gave you a recount. Before I even saw you type that, I gave him a recount. I felt you raging in the future. All right. Bob Murphy. I like a little bit better than those two. Actually, no. Let me see. I like Tom Woods more than those two. Actually, no. Penn and Teller. So I like... That's about right. So Bob Murphy's just a little bit better. So uncommon one. Right wing... RW speech impediment is one of the most common ones. It's called rhoticism. Okay. Gay J was really cool back in the day, and he probably would have been about there. But then his last presidential candidacy just made him go, blah. Just awful. Just bad. Austin Peterson is the bottom of D tier. He's not quite F tier, but he's pretty bad. He's pretty fucking awful. Speech impediment fetish. Cato Institute. I don't know if this guy... I can't remember this guy's name. It fucking escapes me. Wait, I have my list. I have my fucking list. Where's my list at? There it is. Boom. He's like the vice chair of the Cato Institute. David Bose. There he is. Dude, Austin Peterson and his pyramid of pussy is just awful. Just awful. Neil Bortz is pretty awful, but not nearly as awful as Austin Peterson. Thomas DiLorenzo, his economics is good, but his history is pretty bad. So we're going to put him above Toast. Thomas Massey, I like just a little bit less than Justin Amash. So we'll put him right there. Voltaire. I love that picture of Voltaire. Voltaire goes in... Let's put him right above Eric July. Yeah, he's a much better token. Even though his... he needs to work on his enunciation. Robert Higgs, A tier for sure. South Park. Matt Stone and Trey Parker goes in top of B tier. Larry Sharp... Okay, so Larry Sharp was on Rogan. He's a presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party. He's probably my favorite that I've seen so far, but even though I'm not the biggest fan of him either. But he went on Rogan, and Rogan is kind of one of those shows where you just kind of hang out with Rogan and just have a nice little conversation and chat back and forth. And he decided to turn it into a campaign speech. And even every time Rogan was like, hey, just hang out. Just relax. Stop being in politician mode. He kept trying to be in politician mode the whole time, and it was kind of unfortunate. And he just should have just told him how much he loved DMT, and that would have been great. Yeah, that's the only... let's go... I think I like him more than Yaron. Just put him there. Amp, I'm not too familiar with. I just know that I've seen him quite a bit in Dapperton server promoting his stuff. Jason Sorens had a really good idea for the Free State Project if he only knew what it would have turned into. Oof. Let's put him right there. TJ. That guy T would normally be an A tier, but because he doesn't make stuff anymore, he gets docked to 1 point. Make more stuff, damn you. Peter Schiff gets C tier, and I'll tell you why. Because even though he's really good about talking about the philosophy and all that stuff, that's all great. He is really hardcore down on Bitcoin, and it's completely like a financial decision from his end because he sells gold. And because of that, I had the opportunity to buy... I had money in hand to buy Bitcoin, but then I started listening to him, and I ended up not doing it. I was going to buy like $1,000 worth of Bitcoin back when it was $10 a pop, and I didn't do it because I listened to him. Yeah, fuck you. Kennedy is awesome. Her show on Fox is pretty good. Let's put her above Matt Welch because Matt Welch used to be on his show, and I think she was more fun than Matt Welch. Ben Powell is really good. He's done a lot of good stuff about even though he's pretty dry, is not as entertaining as most of the people on this list. He's done some really good stuff writing about sweatshops. Not too familiar with him. For something Epstein. Voluntarist Japan. I'm going to dock him a little bit for being an anti-vaxxer. Please, vaccinate your fucking kids. Sorry. Vaccinate your fucking kids. But other than that, he's fucking great. Definitely recommend subscribing to his channel. He was also someone we'll be getting into... Actually, let's move him next, because we're going to talk about him next. And the other reason... I was actually interested in his channel just because I was looking for different libertarian content creators, and he was one of the people I found, along with a lot of the cartoon ANCAPs as well. And he ended up becoming the target of this man, Mr. Adam Kokesh, who goes I'm going to say Just put him right there. Let's put him right there. F tier, Adam Kokesh, because Adam Kokesh's campaign manager, obviously under the direction of Kokesh, as he admitted later, tried to hire Russian hackers in order to ruin his life and possibly even physically harm him by doxing him, doing espionage and all kinds of nasty shit to destroy the life of Mr. Graham Smith here. Because Mr. Graham Smith was like, "Hey, I don't agree with the philosophy of your political campaign for president," and was writing, just. He wasn't saying like you're an awful person for running for president. He was just like, I just don't think it's consistent with your own principles to run for president, and actually try to, and not just use it as a platform, because you can understand like, hey, I'm an anarchist running for president. I'm not interested in winning. I'm just using this political forum as a way to grab attention to my ideas. That's a completely reasonable thing. That's what Darrell W. Perry was doing, and Mary Ruart was doing. They're not running to win. They're running to run and use that as a platform to get their ideas across. Whereas Kokesh thinks that he can dismantle the government from the Oval Office, and he's like, that's not principled in any way, shape, or form. And it didn't take Kokesh very long to start backpedaling on some of the things that he was saying that he was going to do, and actually started enacting some powers, and then already started acting like a politician, like a Nixon-style politician, and having enemies lists and going after them. And he essentially basically threatened me. In asterisk, allegedly. Matt Zolinsky, I'm going to give him top of C tier. He's definitely not for the NAP, but some of the other, like, he's for like a universal basic income, and not ironically, so that's not good. I'm going to put Stephen Horowitz at the bottom of D. I'm going to put him at top of D tier because his economic stuff can be pretty good. It can also be pretty bad. But at the same time, like, anytime anyone says anything he can interpret as a dog whistle, he'll fucking shame them and try to, like, paint them out to be, like, racist KKK members like Jeff Deist, who I didn't put on this list. What the fuck? What is wrong with me? And he's just, he can just be an awful SJW sometimes. And I'm very careful about who I apply that term with anymore, because since it's just a label that anybody can throw around. But he definitely fits, like, every a criteria of SJW for sure. Kokesh's manager was just utilizing the services of the free market. Mike Rowe, he's pretty good. He doesn't really talk about libertarianism stuff too much in any of his projects proper, so he gets to the bottom of B. But when he does post on various social media stuff, it's very libertarian and pretty good. Don't agree with all of it, but it's pretty good. He wrote a really good, Michael Shermer wrote a really good book about libertarianism, and it's really good. I highly recommend it. It's called Mind of the Market. However, he's going to get docked an extra point for being anti-gun. That's pretty trashy. Radical Capitalist, he's pretty trash. He's not an immoral person like a lot of these people, so let's put him right where the actual terrible people actually start. He just has fucking shitty hot takes that are just stupid. Sex, Sex, and Hammer is going to go bottom of B tier. Ultra verbose. Don't necessarily agree with him on everything either. My 2 cents can be good. At other times, it can be a little bit cringy. With the whole, like, hot girl of the week or whatever. Postal Cat, trash. But he's probably the top of the trash. Also minus 1 point for being a Mormon. 6 B tier. That's about right. B tier is about right. Yeah, he can be pretty statusy sometimes. I mean, he does advocate for things like a Internet Bill of Rights. He wants to regulate the internet. Nate the Voluntarist, I'm going to put him at bottom of D tier because he is basically the Steve Shives of libertarianism, for sure. I don't know where to put Esoteric Entity. He hasn't ripped anyone off, but he is definitely, I think this is a good spot for him right here. And, him and his group were soliciting child porn that owned the libs and all that shit. Pretty awful. And then anyone who calls him out for his shit, he starts lying about them, manufacturing shit about them. Yeah. A tier. you want me to put 6 in A tier? I'll put him at the bottom of A tier. How about that? Is that fair? Oh, A for alcoholism. A for fetal alcohol syndrome. No, F. He gets F for fetal alcohol syndrome. Gotcha. Got him. He's fucking retarded. He like photoshops like fucking evidence sometimes. He's got caught doing that a few times. He's lied about things. He accused me of doxing his family by saying that I passed around his Facebook account, but his Facebook account has been deactivated for like years before that. Before I even knew who Prom and any of these other people I allegedly gave this information to. I can't listen to Styx, but I like him. But he's way too. He's overly verbose. Do you know who's the most overly verbose? And I would have put him on this list if he made more videos. Is Ivan the Heathen? Ivan the Heathen. Anytime I make a video, like I can expect like a 3-page treatise about why I'm right or why I'm wrong. And then Nicholas Scarwalk. I'm gonna put him not right there. I don't know what to say about someone who says things like North Korea is the most libertarian country in the world. What are you doing? Running the chair of the Libertarian Party? What are you fucking doing? What are you doing? What are you... Why you do this? But we'll get into that in just a second. Once we turned on my desktop audio. And Eagle Eye, you can unmute yourself now. Hi, Eagle. Hi, Eagle Eye. Bing, bing. Probably going to take him a second. But I know Eagle Eye 1976, who, while we're waiting for him to get the message that I'm ready for him, let's find his YouTube channel, and then I will link it in the doobly-doo when we're doing that. Is it 76? Oh, 1975, duh. Oh, let's server mute. I don't know why I had you on server mute. There you go.
Hey there.
How's it going? I'm going to post your channel in the chat room. So go ahead and subscribe to him. It's basically like white guys ranting in his car channel, but still good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My first question is, where would you put me on this fucking list?
You can get kind of boomery, so I'm gonna put you top of B tier.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, and you like Glenn Beck.
I'm nowhere near a boomer though.
Well, I guess you're like me, a 30-year-old boomer, except older.
Yeah.
So why are you upset with the LP?
Well, you kind of hit on it with the Sower thing. You know, the chair of the Libertarian Party is a fucking idiot. He's an ANCAP and libertarian in disguise.
Those are
and
libertarian.
He's just horrible. I heard he did an interview on the Glenn Beck show like 2-3 years ago, and he makes libertarians look fucking loony. He's worse than Gary Johnson.
Yeah, I had a chance to meet him. Let's see. Let's put him up here. No. Let's see what some of the things. So what have they been posting on Facebook? Oh, okay, this thing.
There's a couple of really big rifts in the Libertarian Party right now. I'm not sure if you're really aware of them.
I know a little bit about it, not much.
Well, the two main ones have to do with open borders
and
abortion.
Yeah, I think they took a stand on abortion.
Yeah, it's like the really fucked up thing about the official Libertarian Party position on abortion is it tries to sound all magnanimous and middle of the road, and we're just not going to get involved, but we're totally going to make a decision that we're totally pro. It's like recognizing that abortion is a sensitive issue and that people can hold good faith views on all sides. Okay, that's fucking mealy-mouthed bullshit right there. They're just trying to pander and cater to both sides and be like, it's okay, you can have good faith positions on both sides. Please continue to be a Libertarian Party member and pay your dues. Everyone that's a libertarian, that's a pro-lifer, please. That's basically what they're doing.
Yeah. Look, if you're gonna be the chair of the LP, and you have divisive issues like borders and abortion, you just don't comment on them from official like libertarian position, since that's like the two contentious issues with the party. You just say like we're not going to make an official platform statement on either one of those issues, but we have candidates on both sides. You can choose one that you like.
I see. I take a completely opposite approach to it. I do not believe that if you run a party that's based on principles, that you can have a big tent approach to things. Or you saying, "Oh yeah, we honor diverse opinions." No, this is our position. If you don't like it, then you're not a part of this party. Period. End of story. We're going to take a stand on this position because it's a principled position, and we're not going to sacrifice our principles for members.
Yeah.
The whole big tent thing is it's all about trying to become more mainstream, but they're sacrificing principles in the process of doing that, and I really have a problem. It's like, come down on one side or the other. Quit being, it's like the Mr. Miyagi thing. You can't be on the middle of the road or you get squished just like a grape,
Yeah. Well, I think I think those are the two choices. Either take a side, you say we're pro-life or pro-choice, or you say nothing. You don't choose like a halfway position, because that's just stupid.
Yeah, the second half of that is that we believe government should be kept out of the matter.
Or maybe in an evictionist position, which I'm not a big fan of either. But I mean, still, at least it's something. It's something.
See, here's the big problem with the abortion debate that a lot of people don't get. The pro-choicers don't seem to realize that they don't understand the pro-life position as being one of, we're trying to prevent you from murdering another human being. And so, like, when they're like, my body, my choice, it's like, no, it's not. It really isn't. The pro-lifer is saying, that's another human life in there. That's not your body. Your right to swing your fist ends at the tip of my nose. And so the libertarian position on this, if you accept that it's a life, another human being with its own inherent rights, then you have to accept that it is infringing on the rights of the right to life, which is the primary right, in order to assert your right to your own bodily autonomy or whatever it is. And the right to life is supreme over those other rights, and so you have to protect the right to life. That's a principled approach from the pro-life side. But you have to understand that it's like, we are trying to protect another human life, but what the pro-choice side is trying to say is like, well, it's not another human life. And that's really where the nexus of all of the argumentation comes down to. Is it a human life or not? Period. End of story. If you can answer that question, then you've answered the entire thing.
And I've definitely made a shift. And I mean, for a while, I was kind of really on the fence because I just didn't know how to answer that question. And the more I've kind of looked into it, the more I've looked into all the science and stuff about it, I just couldn't deny it anymore that that the pro-life position is the correct position, and I've definitely moved more to the right on that issue, which I don't even think it's really a right position. But I used to be like pro-choice all the way, and then I just kind of.
Did you see my video about Eagle Eye? You never admit that you're wrong about anything.
Yeah.
I went into detail about how, like, when I was raised Mormon, so I was anti-abortion because of the religious indoctrination. Then when I went against the Mormon Church, when I left the Mormon Church at 18, I did this whole, like, I'm going to be countercultural. I'm going to go against all of the teachings. I'm going to be a rebel and everything. And, of course, I wanted to have sex, and I wanted to have consequence-free sex. And I think this is the honest-to-God truth. A lot of pro-choice people, the reason they're pro-choice is because they're hedonistic. They want to have consequence-free sex, and they just don't want to admit it. And I can admit that to myself.
Yeah, ish. I mean, I'm sure like everyone's different.
Oh yeah, well, I think there's an element in every single person. There's an element of it.
I didn't start out that way, but it definitely evolved that way when I started getting into like Lycus and stuff. But
yeah, so I start. Here I was a hormonal 18-year-old that wanted to get laid, and I wanted to be able to have an out. So I did all of the mental gymnastics to, change my opinion to be pro-choice, so that I could, like, if it ever happened to me where I got into that situation, I could, look myself in the mirror and still like get what I want. And that's really what a lot of it's about, I think, for a lot of people. And I slowly had to, as I've learned, and as I had my own children, and as I saw, my wife go through 5 pregnancies, well, 6 actually, but that's neither here nor there. The ultimate conclusion I had to draw from it is like, that is a life in there. where and actually, if you know about logical fallacies, there's a logical fallacy called the line drawing fallacy. Where do you draw the line? It's the continuum fallacy is what it's called. Like, okay, when does it stop being a cluster of cells that is not a human life and begin to be a human life? Where is that line drawn? Is it when the baby is born? And if so, what magical property of the vagina does it have that confers the rights and the life, property of life on that child?
I'm not sure it starts at conception. I'm sure it's somewhere. I just don't know where, and I'm just going to err on the side of caution to say that, you know, maybe within up until the point of right before heartbeat, maybe that's probably the good time to, if there's any. But even still, it's like, I don't know. I'm all for things like the morning after pill and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, anyway, I'm just tired of the obfuscation and all of the side or tertiary argumentation having to do with it's so. But here's the thing that was pissing me off about it. On May 17th, May 17th, Libertarian Party Facebook page posts their little yellow thing that does their Libertarian Party.
I'm showing it right now on the screen.
Yeah. May 18th, they posted another thing. May 19th, they posted the same thing from May 18th. May 21st, they posted a "Don't Tread on Me" that was in the shape of a uterus and fallopian tubes and that whole thing. The snake was all reconfigured to look like a frickin' women's reproductive organs. I mean, 4 days in a row they're posting this shit. It's like hammering it home, and it's almost like they were spitting in the face of all the pro-choice libertarians out there, saying you're not welcome here.
Yeah, here it is. The "Don't Tread on Me," like that. No, that's not how mafia works.
Yeah. So now I agree with the second half. It's like we also call for an end to subsidies, an end to prescription requirements for contraception, an end to restrict. Okay, get the government out of my life. Get the government out of it entirely. Yeah, sure. But part of the mandate of government in general is to protect one citizen, one human life from being infringed upon by another human life. That at its basic, most fundamental level, if you got rid of every other aspect of government down to its foundation, that's it. Protecting one citizen from another, having them harm each other, And so it's like it's not a matter of, it's not good faith and, people of good conscience can have differing opinions. No, one side is wrong. And somebody needs to, actually make a stand on that. And if they take the stand that, pro-lifers are not welcome here, fine, I'm done. Then they know that they'd be done as a party if they did.
Yeah, I think you either stand back and don't comment on it, or pick a side, a principled side.
And then they have this thing. Sorry, I just want to move on with it. I don't want to get bogged down in it. But then they have this thing on May 26th. Gun owners. It has that meme with the guy shooting the other guy, and it's like Republicans. Gun owners are the ones being shot, and the Republicans are the ones doing the shooting. Mulford Act, Brady Bill, assault weapons ban of 1994. Take the guns first, due process later. Bump stock ban. And then it shows the guy saying, "Why would Democrats do this?" It's so reductionist. It's so first of all, it's totally ignoring what the Democrats want to do. The Democrats want to actually just take away all the guns. They, all of their protestations to the they want to take the guns. They want out and out gun bans, just like
they're playing the long game. Yeah, they're playing the long game.
And all of these things that the Republicans have done have been like the weapons ban of 1994, the assault weapons ban of 1994. That was a compromise. Who was president in 1994? Bill fucking Clinton. Who had the Congress in 1994? That might have been right after the Republicans took control. I don't know. But still, there's government has both parties, and there's compromises that happen all the fucking time. The bump stock ban, that was a bad idea. I agree. I mean, I don't agree with it, but it was like, okay, we need to this is not the hill we're going to die on. I agree with Trump for doing what he did on that, because it's like, we're not going to die on this hill. We're not going to, fight this. We have only so much political capital we can spend. We're not going to spend it here. And,
You got to be kidding me.
What?
They posted this thing saying, Libertarians support your freedom to sell raw milk, even if it's blue. And it has a picture of
Luke Skywalker.
Oh, yeah. God, no. No.
Oh God, yeah.
Like I'm all. Hey, look, if you want to kill yourself with raw milk, be my guest. go ahead. But that's you're just
Yep.
it's just no. Don't drink raw milk. It's not good for you. You'll
You know,
die.
it's really funny. Doing what I do for a living, I get a lot of people in candid conversations about things, and it comes up quite often, like the war on drugs. Like I drive for Uber, just so for the people, the watchers that don't know. I'm like, there's been times I've taken people to the county courthouse, or detentional facilities, so they can check in for a weekend because they're on a weekend arrest thing because they had, like possession of cocaine or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'll tell you what, I don't care what you do with your body. I think it should just totally be decriminalized. Heroin, cocaine, I don't freaking care. If you want to kill yourself, that's fine. If you can do it irresponsibly, that's fine. And but they'll always say like, well, parents are gonna, neglect their children, and it's going to cause harm to the children of the family. I'm like, well, what about that 21-year-old kid that wants to get blasted on the week? He doesn't have any kids. He doesn't have any responsibilities. He wants to get blasted on the weekend. Who the fuck are you to tell anyone what to do with your life?
Yeah, but they can also do the same thing with alcohol, and you're perfectly okay with that being illegal. So,
exactly.
And that's probably where the most of it comes from, anyways. Alcoholics. I think every neglect case that I've ever heard of, it's always, or not always, but the vast majority of them has been like, oh, the parents were alcoholics. Occasionally, you get the stoner guys that just did nothing but get high to the point where they just pass out and let their kids neglect. Those are rarest.
Like gambling. Gambling. You ruin your entire family's financial situation, put them out on the streets because your house gets foreclosed on because you didn't pay your mortgage. And, it's like, okay, you know what? Why don't you just prosecute the person for the child neglect? Prosecute the person, or take the kids away and terminate the parental rights because the person is incapable of being a good father. But don't criminalize the activity that a bunch of people enjoy responsibly.
Yep, and I live in Las Vegas, so I see that kind of thing happen all the time. It's not new.
So there's things I agree with. Actually, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Libertarian Party and what it's become. And while I was waiting to be brought in, I actually made some notes. Basically, most of the Libertarian Party has become that meme of the kid going, actually. Every single person I have an argument with on the Libertarian Party page, that's the image I have in my head of that person. Because they're all like, they're faux intellectuals with a smug countercultural thing going on where they're like, I'm a libertarian because it's cool. Because I get to be all like, better than you. I'm better than you because I have this like intellectual philosophy about life that I'm not following the mainstream. I'm a black sheep. I'm not part of the herd. I'm so woke. That's all it is anymore.
Mm.
There's no actual philosophy. There's no nuance. There's no actual discussion about like principles or anything like that, except for the most basic of principles. And actually,
the NAP?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about, and they're shit principles too. They're like, universally preferred behavior is a shit principle, but people, they latch onto it because it's simplistic and it's simple, and you can reduce it to a soundbite, and you can hold it over people's heads and lord over people, and this is gonna fry your bacon, man. This is gonna like scramble your eggs. Think about this: the reason why postmodernists, are so popular, and why it's so popular to be an SJW, is because the philosophy is easy. Like Jordan Peterson has said, you could learn postmodernism in a 2-hour lecture and be done with it. And congratulations, you're a postmodernist.
I don't agree. I mean, like, sure, like Foucault or whatever, maybe. But listening to Trudeau Tom talk about postmodernism, it's a little bit more deeper and more complex than that. I don't agree with a lot of it. I do like some of its origins, like Stirner. It's kind of some of the origins that where it comes from, but
if you have a degree from a university, from a liberal arts college, and the degree title ends in the word studies, and you are a blue-haired, problem glasses wearing lesbian feminist, chances are you've been indoctrinated or you've learned a lot of postmodernist shit, right?
I disagree.
Everything. Really?
The reason why I disagree, because I don't think it's just that. In order for you to get any kind of degree at the cathedral at all, you have to take one of those studies. You have to. So everybody
Right.
that comes out of that stuff has been indoctrinated to one degree or
Well,
another.
I'm talking about the degree program itself, saying like I have a bachelor's degree in women's studies.
Right. But I mean, like that's
No.
that's like someone who's like addicted to crack versus someone who does blower on the weekends.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I just got my degree last year in education, and I had to take like a humanities class, and I had to take like an inclusiveness and diversity class.
Yeah.
There's actually like a 3 credit hour diversity requirement. But it's it was an easy thing to do, and I just blew through it, and it didn't really do that in-depth stuff. But my point is this: the philosophy is easy, and it's really it's a heady thing to experience. You feel this rush of endorphins and somewhat a little bit of a rush of like this feeling of superiority over other people when you can say like, well, you're just mansplaining, and that's toxic masculinity, and then it's simplistic on the front end so that it's easy to break things down and make everything problematic, and then they go into great detail and nuance down this fucking rabbit hole of why it's problematic, and they do these mental gymnastics and backflips, right?
I just realized we just lost the chat. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. See, my point is, I'm trying to bring this home. That's going to scramble your bacon. Is the simplistic, postmodernist shit that leads to SJW stuff is the very same sort of mechanism. And the mechanism is the same for the libertarians who are like, look at me, I'm being all countercultural, I'm being faux intellectual, I'm being, I'm superior to you because I have this like really crazy out there, like only 5% of people believe it, and I'm not one of the the sheep in the herd. It's the same thing, and they get to have this very simplistic thing that they are introduced to that informs all of their down the rabbit hole logical mental gymnastics later. Universally preferable behavior, the non-aggression principle. It's like all you have to do is like, hey, have you heard about the non-aggression principle? Don't you agree with the non-aggression principle? Don't you think it's a good thing to not aggress against other people?
Which generally speaking, yes.
Well, it's one of those kinds.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that if you say no, what kind of fucking psycho are you?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But it's no different than the feminists saying, don't you believe in equality?
Yeah, just not to the degree that you do.
No different.
Yeah.
It's no different. It's like, it's a loaded question that leads you down this thing of like, well, if you don't believe in this like whacked out theory of like a theory of mind, then you have to negate the original statement. It's like, oh, so you don't agree completely with the non-aggression principle and all its conclusions and everything that's downstream of it? You must want to aggress against people.
Yeah, you must be a communist.
Right.
Or you must be
so
a max murderer. You must be a cat burglar or something. You got to be something.
And then on the other side, so you don't believe in reparations for slavery and affirmative action programs and preferential hiring for women in order to redress the grievances of all of the years of oppression that women have suffered? You must hate women, and you don't believe in equality. No, that's not logically true. That doesn't follow. It's the same thing. It's the opposite extreme. And that's what I'm seeing in the Libertarian Party is this opposite extreme now to the SJW culture, but they utilize the same tactics. It's like, oh god, the NAP. It's like whenever I get into an argument with people about the NAP on Facebook, it's like dealing with fucking children because they're so dense. Everything's they're hitting everything with this gigantic sledgehammer of the NAP. I'm like, no, come on, let's get a scalpel here. Let's get into the nitty gritty of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some nuance going on here. And they're like, no, NAP, damn it.
Yep. Do you now just link people to my video? Like, oh, nah, there you go. Watch this video.
No, I just talk about I don't link people to videos. I don't have that. I'm not that organized. I don't have videos bookmarked. Are you kidding me?
That one you probably should, considering that all the times you bump into that one.
Well, yeah, I just debunk it in my own way. It's like who if they can just cite the NAP at me, I'm like, okay, who decides what aggression? What's the definition of aggression?
Well, I mean, Rothbard did define what aggression was when he was postulating it. To be fair. That's one of the criticisms that I never liked about the NAP is like what it define. Well, they define it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing about the NAP, in conjunction with being an ANCAP, it's like, okay, you want to have a definition of what aggression means? Congratulations, you just made a law, and by making a law, you've become a de facto government. Checkmate, ANCAPs. You just created the government that you didn't like.
Well, ANCAPs are not anti-law; they're monocentric law. They want polycentric law. To be fair,
which is, yeah, that's fair, but that's not able to. We won't get into this discussion. So.
Yeah, I mean, we can have a whole debate about that, and I'm pretty sure one of these times we should probably have a discussion about that because that'd be fun. It'd be entertaining.
I don't have any firm position on it. I just think that polycentric law is not feasible because they run afoul of each other. It's like either the law for everyone or it's not a law then, you know. And we already do kind of have polycentric law with the multiple states and the hierarchy of governments that we have. I mean, Anyway, let me see.
Not really.
I opened up a bunch of these different things. Like I just went through the Libertarian Party's feed, and I was just like, let me see. Oh yeah, if you think the government has the right to forcibly vaccinate people for the good of society, what is to prevent them from forcibly sterilizing people, forcibly euthanizing people, or forcibly implanting a tracking device for the good of society?
Does not follow.
Yeah, doesn't. These are different things.
Which, by the way, I'm not for forced vaccinations, but at the same time, like I definitely would not want to live in an area where people weren't vaccinated. I would not move there. I would want to I wouldn't want to move it to an area where they said, okay, in order for you to live in this area and go to our schools and all that stuff, you have to vaccinate your kids. If you don't, you're free to find somewhere else to live.
Well, see, that's the thing that, this is that nuance thing again. It's like, I'm not for forced vaccinations, but if you're going to enroll your kids in my public school where my kids are going to be in,
or where my grandma is going to live, or where I'm going to live,
right?
Because you're going to reduce the herd immunity. That's going to be an issue.
Well, yeah, and I'm just talking about I'll only take it as far as the schools. It's like if you're going to enroll your kids in a public school and not homeschool them, you have that option to homeschool. And maybe if you'd like, you can enroll them in a private school where no one's vaccinated. Maybe they're, hey, there's the free market at work. Yeah. Let's have an unvaccinated public or private school. You want to cater to that kooky community? Fine, do it. Make sure you have a big nurse's office.
Oh, I'll just say that's not going to end well.
It would be a wonderful case study. Bunch of dead kids, like, gee, vaccines work.
Oh.
But see, it's like it is the role of government to protect one citizen from the harm that could be caused by another. This is why drinking is legal, driving is legal, but drinking and driving is illegal.
I think
you're putting.
Go ahead.
You're putting the rest of society at risk. This is why going to school. You can send your kids to any school you want, but if you choose to enroll them in the public schools, then you have to abide by the rules that dictate how you're to behave and what standards are supposed to be upheld amongst the society. If you didn't have anyone else around you, you could do whatever you want. Government in itself, the entire understanding of liberty is that certain liberties must be curtailed, like my liberty to shoot a gun in any direction at any time for any reason. That must be curtailed because I run the risk of harming other people around me. Once one individual comes into contact with another individual, liberty must be curtailed in order to protect the primary right of everyone having their life protected.
Wait, what was this? Okay, so someone just asked. You guys should. Oh, yeah, he's saying that we should debate. He says that choose to enroll them in the public schools. Dude, that's not how it works. What is he talking about?
Enrollment in public schools is a choice. You are required to make sure that your child is educated. If you show the state that you are educating your child either through homeschooling or through in a private school, then
I think there's
a choice there.
I think there needs to be like a lot of asterisks behind that because a lot of states that's not the case. I mean, in California, like because I was doing homeschooling for a while. Through the government, like whatever, that was the only way of doing it at the time, unless I wanted to go through a Christian church, which no, thank you. how they did it was like you had to go through them, and then they just started slowly rolling back all of those policies saying that you can homeschool your kids, and it got to the point where it's like, no, you have to like do it through like a Christian school in order for that to happen, and it just got to be ridiculous. And so I ended up having to spend like the last year of my education in public school.
Yeah, well, it's. I just did a quick Google search. Compulsory attendance laws are crafted by each state that require school attendance for children of certain ages. So yeah, there are compulsory attendance laws. You have to have your kids in a school, but it would vary by state. Whether you have to have them in the public school or not.
So you are taxed whether or not you enroll them, and there are very few areas where you can give that tax money back for sending your kids to a charter public schools. Yeah.
Right. Oh, and okay,
Yeah.
You know what? That's a whole other discussion about what laws might need to change about taxation laws and charter schools and vouchers and all that other stuff. That is an entirely different discussion. How much it costs to go to a private school, how much it costs to have them homeschooled, how much of a rebate you'd get. That's a separate law, a separate discussion, but it's separate from the vaccination one.
Yeah.
And we can have that discussion, but that's well, the compulsion for
we already have laws against that. We already have laws against theft.
Right.
Which, by the way, I mean, you still agree with the statement. You still agree with the statement that taxation is theft. I remember you doing a video about it and unpacking it and explaining what it means, even though that you're not
taxation of incomes is theft.
Yeah, you're not an anarchist.
No.
No. So we kind of look at
Taxation
Ayn
of
Rand.
incomes is theft because you don't have a choice about whether or not you earn an income. People have to earn an income in order to. But yeah.
Are you kind of like the Ayn Rand voluntary taxation thing?
No.
No. Oh, what is your stance on taxes?
Abolish the income tax. From an economics point of view, anything you put a tax on, you get less of. Anything you subsidize, you get more of. So why are we taxing incomes and subsidizing poverty? We're going to get more poverty and less income. Duh. That's a very simplistic way of looking at it, but it really is the truth. It's like, it is an axiomatic thing in economics. If you tax it, you're going to get less of it. If you subsidize it, you get more of it. It's the whole purpose of taxing, like cigarettes and stuff. You tax people for smoking, you're going to have fewer smokers because people are going to get priced. I can't afford cigarettes anymore.
So we should fund the state through like legal heroin.
I'm well, and also from an economics point of view, if you do not want as much consumption as you want to encourage production. So taxing productive labor reduces productive labor, which reduces the total number of goods and services available in the economy. You do want to reduce consumption though, because this is where we get our trade deficit from. The more we consume here, the less we can sell overseas and shit to other people. I'm basically, if you have to tax anything, tax consumption, which is basically a sales tax. I'm not about a value-added tax. I'm talking about the end user, the person who actually consumes the item. Should tax consumption, and that way you have a choice. And I would exempt things like necessary things like food, that kind of shit. If it's necessary for living, then don't tax that loaf of bread. Don't tax that, the bologna and cheese, but if it's prepared food, fine, tax it. That's the way it is in Nebraska, at least. In Nebraska, we have, no taxes on staples, food that's not prepared. But if it's prepared by somebody, like there's a restaurant tax. You go to a deli, basically if you get like fresh sliced deli meat that requires somebody to slice it for you, that's there's somebody doing it for you like in house. You get taxed on the deli meat. But if you get some prepackaged shit, then it's not taxed.
Oh, okay. Oh, look, if I renew my LP membership, I get a free vintage logo drawstring bag and 5 buttons. How about this? I'll just give you free pogs if you send me a self-addressed stamped envelope. I'll just send you free pogs. Checkmate, LP.
Right.
And it's free.
Anyway, let me see. So the vaccination thing, it's like, I have no problem with if you are consuming government, services, and if you are sending your child to be around a bunch of other children who are there in a compulsory way, then I have no problem with, it's not forcing you to vaccinate your children. There's two different statements there. It's forcing you to vaccinate your children if you want them in the public schools. And that's an important distinction. It's not like, no, you have to, stick this needle in the kid's arm. No, it's if you want them in the public schools, you have to do X, Y, and Z.
Pogs and SIPs should never be taxed. I agree with that. Yeah, don't tax Pogs.
May 25th. Where do libertarians stand on immigration? Libertarian Party Platform 3.4, free trade and migration. And see, this is another thing that they just completely get wrong. If you have no borders, you have no country. If you have no country, you have no laws. You can't enforce laws if you don't have a country. If you have no borders, you can't have any sort of reasonable citizenship at all. It's like people just coming and going. And the people that are just coming and going, they have no interest in maintaining the status of the region that they're just coming and going from. You're actually introducing a tragedy of the commons problem.
Yeah, that's why I'm a bigger fan of covenant communities, or city states.
And and I think that Milton Friedman was right and Ayn Rand was right about this. As long as you have a robust welfare state, you cannot have open borders.
Yeah, there's a fix for that. A really simple one. State. Yeah.
So, even if they did end the welfare state, I'd still be for closed borders because, it's just you have to be able to control who comes and goes into your country. Too bad, so sad. If you want to come here, do it the right way. Do it according to the rules that are set forth by the people who live here and built this fucking country.
He says talk to Cantwell. He has a solution for that. I think it's a final solution, actually.
Well, as long as it's the final one, because goddamn, we've tried so many solutions. I'd like to settle on one that is like the last one that we attempt, right?
No, I don't think you get it. It's he advocates for a final solution. See what he did there?
Oh, yeah, Jim, you might want to shave your lip. There's a little mini mustache.
Oh yeah. Oh, I must have missed that. Demonetized.
Right.
No.
You're going to make so much money from all 8 people watching this thing.
Hashtag please donate. No. That's a total Cantwell thing. Guys, I'm desperate for money. I remember he used to put that on his blog post. I'm desperate for money.
He's desperate for pussy. You don't see a bunch of women signing up to fuck him.
Well, they are, but they're Puerto Rican.
Yeah. No, those are the ones he paid to come. That's why he's desperate.
We need a white ethno state. Oh wow, look at these hot Puerto Rican mamas. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we should do a stream one of these times where we debate the state. Probably have someone moderate or something. But
I'm not interested in debates though. I like having just open discussions where.
Yeah. Well,
it's way too adversarial.
Yeah, I agree. Probably have it more. I think we've actually had that discussion before on one of the Tuesday night things that you used to do, and then I took over.
Right.
Then, but I know that Lengthy Arthur wants to do a live stream talking about do a post-mortem again on the Zeitgeist movement. And I was like, fuck it, let's do it. Might as well.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Because I think it's more interesting.
Why are you necroing that thread, man?
It really is a necro thread for sure. And on top of that, what's interesting is that when Jock Fresco passed away, no one had made a single video about it on YouTube for 3 days. Whoa. Could you imagine?
Wait, he passed away?
Yeah, he died. I bet you didn't even know. So I mean, he died.
It's almost like he was not important at all.
Yeah, could you imagine if he died in 2012, 2011? The YouTube would have been flooded with videos crying about him. But 3 days passed.
Been a bunch of people saying that he got killed by the government.
Yeah, but 3 days passed and no one made a video. I was the first person to make a video about it. Yeah.
You've become the thing you hate.
But I wasn't I feel bad. He was such a great guy. It was kind of I'm glad he didn't die. I guess he died in his sleep, which is good. It wasn't painful at all. His ideas were garbage. You know.
Yeah, so did Justice Scalia, though. So I think Justice Scalia was murdered, to be honest with you.
I don't buy it. It doesn't make sense for them to kill him like that, especially after what we got. That was such a risky election. It was too close.
That happened before Trump even announced he was killed.
Oh, yeah, that's
also,
right.
Andrew Breitbart, I think, was killed. Tom Clancy, I think, was killed.
No, Breitbart was 2012.
No, I know. I'm just saying
yeah.
that, you know. Actually, Scalia was probably killed, but because of the upcoming that upcoming thing about forcing people to pay dues into labor unions. That whole decision got punted because it was a 4-4 decision because he was dead.
And I think if they did kill Breitbart, which I'm not sure, I really X'd out on that. If they did kill Breitbart, I think they probably would have learned their lesson not to do that again with Scalia.
Yeah, Breitbart. Yeah. You remember him at CPAC in 2012? He's like, I have video of, Barack Obama that they don't want you to see, and I'm going to be releasing it soon. 2 weeks later.
Sometimes even hookers have to lower their standards just to take Jim's money. Oh, by the way, there was a where was that article? I don't know if you ever saw that article I posted on Facebook like years ago. It was like this this thing about like hookers and some of their their favorite clients or whatever. And there was one that said like there was an overweight guy who used to wear a weird mask to bed and just kept he wanted me to say you're such a big guy, and he would just always say for you. And I was like, holy shit, how did this information about me get out? She also said he had a big penis too.
I
was like,
for the sex. I paid you for the discretion.
Yeah. Everyone's going to know that's me now. Come on, what are you doing? Let's see.
No, okay. Continuing on the Libertarian Party, like they posted on May 23rd. My body, my choice includes drugs, vaccinations, unhealthy food, hateful speech, selling your body or selling your labor at any cost, no minimum wage, sex work, marriage equality, conscription, and how the fruits of your labor will be spent. No taxation. I agree with that, but it's also implying that the my body, my choice thing is a valid argument for abortion too. So.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between your body and a baby's body. And the body that's inside of you is not yours.
Okay, you kind of hinted at it before. You said something about, like, evictionist.
Yeah. Evictionism.
I know what that means. Like, I'm going to evict this this tenant out of my body. Is that what that's about?
Yeah.
That's some stupid bullshit right there.
And if it lives, it lives. If it dies, it doesn't. They have
100% chance it'll die at a certain,
yeah.
Before a certain point.
See, like I'm kind of much more of a David Friedmanite. Like I'm perfectly willing to accept small violations of rights to avoid like huge catastrophes. And this is kind of where that fits in that. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, you have the right to evict them, but they're going to die. Like, come on, you can't do that.
Yep.
With reasonable restrictions, right? Like, if someone's never going to pay their rent, and it is snowing outside, it's like, you know what? We gave you plenty of opportunities to kick you out. Now it's time for you to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, see, what a lot of people don't understand is that there is a hierarchy of rights. Not all rights are equal. Because you have to have a hierarchy of rights. You have to have a supremacy, like pecking order of rights. And the supreme primary right, the one that all other rights are derived from, is the right to your life. You can't have a right to liberty. And actually in my book, The Libertarian Argument, I should link it to actually. In my book, I explain how the right to life leads to the right to liberty, and how the right to liberty leads to the right to property. And the right to life and leads to the right to property. And the way I describe it is the right to life is the right to exist. The right to liberty is the right to act. And the right to property is the right to persist. Because when you have property, you've imbued that property with a portion of your life, the work that you have put in order to acquire it. Whether it's through direct acquisition of, like, I crafted this thing myself with my bare hands, or I put in labor and worked in order to earn the tokens of our economy, aka money, in order to trade those tokens of our economy to someone else who produced it with their bare hands, and now I own that thing. So everything you own is imbued with a portion of your life, and you used your liberty in order to, choose how you would do, spend the finite, quantities of your life in order to, do that stuff. But the problem is,
you've got mail.
Is that,
Get yourself
this
some
is why
fine
I
sips.
said before.
Nice. Thank you, Tally.
What?
Tally just sent a super chat saying, "Get yourself some fine sips. $15. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you for your service."
Where's my share, man? I'm gonna impose a tax on that. They tipped you while listening to me.
Taxation is theft.
Yeah. You're being robbed, motherfucker.
Takes out for Tally.
Anyway, no. So here's the thing. Your right to act has to be infringed upon if your action risks harming me or causing me to lose my life. And that's not even debatable. You have to place restrictions on people's liberties in order to preserve the primary right to life. You have to place restrictions on people's liberties in order to protect other people's right to their property. It's like, because if you infringe on somebody else's property, you are, by transference, infringing upon their life, because they imbued that property with portions of their life in order to acquire it. This is why theft is wrong. This is why killing is wrong. This is why you can't drink and drive. This is why you can't shoot a gun anywhere you want, anytime you want, and as much as you want. You have to be restricted from these things because, so your right to your liberty, your right to act has to be curtailed a little bit.
Sounds like your neighbor's having their nap violated. Well, you shouldn't have been sleeping at noon when I shoot my gun in the front yard. Just saying.
Right. Well, if I shoot my gun, what's the externality of shooting my gun in any direction? I could harm somebody's property. I could kill somebody.
Yep.
There's externalities there that that we have to account for. So that's the thing. People don't understand that there's a hierarchy to the rights, and the primary right is the right to life. And so in the abortion debate, it's like, I don't care what rights you think are being violated by forcing that human life to stay inside of you for the next, let's face it, 5 months. Because before by the time you get to, you don't even notice it's there. It's not harming you in any way in the first 4 months. You start seeing a bulge in your belly at around 4 to 5 months. And, the last 2 months actually just kind of suck.
Mm-hmm.
And then giving birth, okay, fine, but I'm sorry, it's not infringing on your rights enough to warrant you being able to kill it.
Yeah,
if you don't want it when it's born, that's why we have foster care. That's why we have adoptions. That's why we have those things where you could drop it off at a fucking firehouse. Nobody cares about that.
Oh, you could drop it off you can also drop it off at any hospital. No questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I was, and it also kind of hits close to home because I was actually adopted. I bet you didn't know that. I think I might have talked to. Yeah, I was adopted, but I remember that, from what I understand, my mom was 16 and my dad was 18, and I guess my dad, they said that he may have been involved in drugs, so I'm thinking probably he was probably just a pothead, stoner, or whatever. And so I don't know who my parents are, and I'm not really interested in finding out, to be honest. At least my biological parents. Yeah, it doesn't matter. If they haven't reached out for me, it's whatever. I mean, actually, I don't think they can legally do it. So whatever. On top of that, so whatever.
The way I always put it is the blood in your veins doesn't matter as much as the love in your heart.
Right. And my parents were great, so whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
you get my point, though. It's just like, you've been sentenced to 9 months of pregnancy for making the stupid choice of having sex, and maybe, and you living in Vegas, the analogy I always use is, you walk up to a blackjack table, you put a $5 chip down, they deal you 2 cards, and the dealer hits a 21. Too bad, so sad. That sucks. You lost. You can't reach out and grab that chip back and say, "Sorry, I didn't mean to."
Yep.
You gambled. You lost. Pay the fucking dealer.
Yep.
Sex is a gamble. 99% effectiveness on birth control. Oops, you hit that 1%. Sucks to be you. Pay the fucking deal. It's like, but the eviction is so like, well, I don't want it in there. I'm like, well, you fucking put it in there. It didn't get there on its own.
Unless someone jizzed in the water and they were swimming around, right?
Well, and see,
I've heard that one before. It's like, no, that's not how mafia works.
Well, see, but then you get those, those exceptions of rape and incest. In there. I'm like, first of all, why is the incest one there? It always included with the rape one. Because, I mean, heck, I just saw an article where a guy got sentenced to 2 years for marrying his 18-year-old daughter. It's like, those are two consenting adults. Why should anyone care?
It's extremely gross, though.
I don't care.
Yeah. Well, I would care in terms of, like, I wouldn't want to work for someone like that. I wouldn't want to be friends with someone like that. I wouldn't want to, like...
Yeah, and that's your choice.
Yeah.
See, personal liberty goes... It's like, personal liberty, you got to take the bad with the good.
Yeah.
You know? It's gross. It's horrible. And maybe the offspring will have 6 toes. I don't know. But actually, it's been shown that the incest thing only starts really causing, like, gross mutations after, like, 2 or 3 generations. So as long as, incest for 1 generation, actually. I saw that. I don't know where I saw it from. I think I saw it on Facebook. And it was like, yeah, incest is actually having products of incest. The offspring of an incestuous relationship only starts having problems if you have multiple generations in a row doing the incest thing.
Oh, okay. Well, it's still gross, though. It's still gross as fuck.
It is. It's
still gross as fuck.
But they always
Not
talk
in my
about,
backyard.
Here's the thing. What they're really talking about is, like, incest when it's like, okay,
Your
daddy,
sister.
fucking his, or yeah, your brother and sister, and they're underage, and
Yeah.
they want to be able to get rid of that. But that's a matter of, like, okay, it's probably, age of consent laws. You can't have legal consent, so therefore it is statutory rape or something like that. So that's a case of rape instead of incest. Who cares about the incest thing?
Yeah.
In the case of rape, you know what? This is why rapists get really bad, really horrible prison sentences. Because it's not just about it's not just about the act of forcible penetration in the moment for like 5 minutes until the guy gets off. It's also the downstream effects that maybe the person gave you chlamydia or gonorrhea or even worse, syphilis or AIDS.
Yep.
Or HIV or whatever. Those are potential outcomes of rape that are harms that are caused on the human being. Those harms are being punished, but when we punish a rapist, the harm, there's another potential harm that you could get that girl pregnant and cause her to endure 9 months worth of pregnancy, which was it's psychological trauma, reminding her of the rape every time she looks down at her pregnant belly. Sorry, but what did the baby do to deserve it?
Yeah.
To deserve a death sentence? The baby is not the criminal here. It's the rapist. You punish the rapist and you go through with the trauma. Yes, that's continued trauma, but there's nothing we can do about it. Okay, I'm all for Plan B. I'm all for, like, morning after pills. I'm all for, like, trying to prevent implantation. I'm all for, like, if after a rape you have something happen where it's like, if they could come up with a procedure where instead of just like they do a D&E abortion, dilation, and or DNC. If they could do something where it's like, okay, after the rape, sorry, we're going to have to penetrate you again, but with this instrument that will clean out, like a spermicidal injection or something like that will prevent, fertilization. Fine, whatever. But once that egg is fertilized and once it is implanted and a pregnancy begins, I'm sorry, it's done. You have to go through with it. And so all these exceptions in the cases of rape, I'm not compelled by it anymore.
Oh. Well, we don't need to educate women about all that stuff. We just need to educate men that it's wrong to rape, because that'll solve everything.
Yeah, I'm sure. Wait. It's wrong to rape?
Wait, what? Breaking news, guys. It's wrong to rape. I don't know if you're everybody in your whole entire life hasn't told you by now, but raping is not pretty cool. It's not cool. It's not good.
I thought rape was just surprise sex. If you yell surprise, it's not rape.
Yeah, that's not how mafia works.
Oh, God, Tally. High-powered vacuum. I like to call it the Dyson operation.
Yeah, I mean, I think back when we when we first started talking, I was still pro-life, and you and I used to have these conversations. And yeah, and what really was getting me more than anything else was just basically like, okay, sure, yeah, it's a woman's body, but are you going to say that thing is not a life? Are you trying to say that even if it's not quote unquote alive, wouldn't you say that like all the stuff is there, that's producing life? It's like on its way to creating life. It has its own set of DNA that it's already created. It has all the proclivities for, mental illness, hair color, gender, all that stuff. It's all there, and it's on its way to create an actual baby. What point when does it go center the machine?
Right.
Yeah.
And the big question is, if you leave it alone and do nothing, what will happen?
It'll become a human life, for undoubtedly become a human life. The other objections that I kept hearing that really helped me, from quote unquote my camp at the time, that really kind of got me to start like questioning it was the if I remember this one was really made me like sway the other way. Hearing it from people who I agreed with made me go, oh my God, I was wrong. Was the if you were in a burning building and you saw two things, you saw a 6-month-old baby or a 5-month-old fetus in a thing where it can be birthed later on, and you can only have time to save one.
Tray of fertilized, 1,000 fertilized eggs and frozen.
Yeah, but it's like you can also turn that around to say the same thing and say like, okay, you have like an 85-year-old woman who's uses a walker. You could save her, or you could save a 5-year-old kid who hurt his leg, and neither of them can really walk. Which one would you save?
It's a trolley problem. It's the trolley problem.
Are you going to say that because you chose the kid over the old woman that one has life and the other one isn't in life? No, it's ridiculous. It's a stupid argument. Yeah, and the trolley problem. And yeah, I'm perfectly fine with killing one person to save 5. Well, I guess it depends on the 5. I mean, there were cartoon and caps. Yeah. 5 cartoon and caps for one person. I'm going to save that one person.
If the 5 were like Shane Killian, Christopher Cantwell,
lie. Sorry.
I tell you what, I've also I stopped following Tom Woods.
Oh, why?
Believe it or not. Well, I think he feeds into the problem that I'm seeing. I really do. He's gotten so snarky and smarmy and smug, and it's basically I hear people basically echoing him all the time, and it's like, but his logic is wrong. It's just flat out wrong.
For what do you mean?
Well, I don't have anything off the top of my head that I can cite.
Okay.
I used to listen to his podcasts, and I just was. But you're wrong.
Yeah,
and I can tell you exactly where you're wrong. I see exactly where the logic falls apart.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's so smug about it.
So the ones that I like to listen to, I listen to all the Counter Krugman ones just because I like Bob Murphy and Tom Woods. They have a good chemistry. So I listen to every one of those.
Bob Murphy's such a fucking badass.
I know, I love him. His I should have mentioned his karaoke when I did the thing. His karaoke is awful, but in the best possible way. It's entertaining to watch, even if he's not good. I love his karaoke. So I listen to those, and then when it comes to the Tom Woods show, I just selectively choose which one because I just don't have the time to listen to all of those because he releases 5 a week, and then some weeks he does a bonus. So anytime when Michael Malice is on, you can't miss those. Those are the best. Michael Malice and Tom Woods, that's the best. That's some of the best podcasts you'll ever hear in your life.
Who's that guy? I don't think it's Walter Block. It might be, actually. That sounds like he's always got this permanent drone going on in the back of his throat.
I don't.
As he's talking.
It sounds like Alex Jones. No. Walter,
Alex Jones just talks about making the frogs gay.
But unless he's calm, then he's like, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think Sandy Hook was definitely an inside job, and so he has that drum thing. But
But I had to say all that stuff to the court because they made me. Otherwise, I'd lose custody of my kids.
No, Walter Blanc is, he says lots of things, and some of those things could be wrong, and some of them can be very right. And I think when he's right, he's very right, and I appreciate all the things he does. But that's not what he does a lot of the time. A lot of the time, he's not very right. That's my Walter Blanc.
He sounds like he's got some advice too. No, let me see here. Yeah, I just back to the Libertarian Party thing. I just found another one. Just today, 6 hours ago, they post Libertarian in Chief Todd Hagopian. I guess this guy is important. He's got a blue check mark on Twitter.
Uh-oh.
For every 40 hours you work. Okay, this is how bad the argumentation has gotten for the Libertarian Party. They posted this today. For every 40 hours you work, 24 hours of labor.
Oh, yeah, I saw this one. Where
Goes
is
towards
this one?
paying your family's monthly expenses. 14 hours of labor goes towards paying the government. And only 2 hours of labor goes towards passing money on to your children.
Yeah, this one had me cross-eyed when I saw it. I logged in, and that's one of the things I thought you were talking about, too.
You are working 7 times as many hours for the government than for your kids. Okay, let's break this down. First of all, he says onto as one word. Passing money onto, yeah. Here, kids, catch! You throw it onto them, and they're like stacked with money. No, okay. First of all, I don't pass any money on to my children. None of the hours that I work goes towards any sort of savings for my children, so there's that. But 24 hours of labor goes towards paying your family's monthly expenses. That's 24 hours of labor that you're spending money on, like things like your house, food, your heating, electricity, all that other shit. That's being spent on your family. Hey, Jim, what does a family consist of?
For me, it involves my cat. And
What
that's
does
it.
my family consist of?
Oh, like 100 kids.
Only 5.
That's still 100
A
to me.
wife and kids. And, like, if I lived on my own, if I was single and with no kids, I'd be living in a studio apartment with a beer fridge and a computer with internet access and a TV, no drapes. I'd have a futon. I wouldn't even have any fucking throw pillows on the couch or anything like that. I wouldn't have drapes. I wouldn't have any decorations. And I wouldn't be living in a 1,600 square foot, 3-bedroom fucking, that's for sure. So all, that mortgage that I'm paying every month, how much of that is going towards my kids? All of the food that I buy, how much is being eaten by my kids? That 24 hours of labor out of the 40 that I work, 20 of them are going towards my kids. So this logic is so fucking bad. You're working 7 times as many hours for the government than for your kids.
I'm sorry.
Bullshit.
Sorry, I missed a lot of that because all those sips that Telly bought just caught up with me.
Did you black out?
No, I had to pee.
Oh. But you know where I was going with it.
Yeah. I saw this and it had me cross-eyed. I was like, who said I had it? But how do you just assume that how much money I'm saving for my kids and how much money I mean, because you could, depending on how much money you make, spend half of that labor time saving for stuff for your family, twice as much to go to your kids, or three times as less going to your kids, or whatever.
Well, scroll into the comments, and you might not be able to find mine.
I think it actually bumps up if you're friends. Let me see. Most relevant, yeah. Oh God, there we go. Only bad that a few people means for clearing. Yep. Taxation is theft. Taxation is theft. That's it. Most relevant. All comments and foreign languages as well.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. It doesn't show all comments. I fucking hate
I'll just
Facebook.
read what I said. The math doesn't hold up once you realize that paying for your family's monthly expenses is actually providing for your children. And then the comments come in. This dude says, read the statement again and you should see where their mistake was. I will agree that it was poorly worded. It should probably be something like 2 hours goes towards savings that you can pass on to your children. And I'm like, yeah, but if you worded it that way, it loses all of its emotional appeal and propaganda-like qualities. In other words, being honest and articulate is not as important as pushing an agenda. And this other guy's like, yeah, you're right. Who cares about posterity? / shrug. I'm like, what? And then this other guy says, it very clearly says leaving money to your kids. I'm like, yo, retard. And then it says you work for the government seven times more than you work for your kids, which is not true because you're also working for your kids to pay for their food, shelter, etc. Fucking hell, you people are thick. I mean, this is what I encounter. I mean, there's a bunch of actually going on here all the fucking time because these people that are members of the mainstream Libertarian Party that are constantly trolling these pages in the comments sections are a bunch of faux intellectuals that want to lord over other people with how fucking philosophical they can be and how much they know more than you.
You should have seen my Facebook a while ago. Phobias. I'm just gonna call you Phobia.
Phobes.
Yeah. Phobes. Oh yeah, because phobes is short for phobia, I guess. Anyways, back in the day, all I used to post was like Trout Mask replica stuff over and over and over and over and over, and to the point where Facebook was like, I think your Facebook is hacked because you just keep posting the stuff. And I kept getting warnings like, hey, is this really you? Please verify your email. And they kept making me do that. Then I would verify my email, and then I'd post another fucking song from Trout Mask replica. And the whole point I was trying to get at, I was just trying to annoy the shit out of everybody on my Facebook so they would fucking find something else to do rather than seeing my post about Trout Mask Replica, which, by the way, one of the greatest albums of all time, Trout Mask Replica. Have you listened to this yet?
Mm-mm.
You ought to. It is good, therefore you ought to listen to it.
Wait. Is ought?
Yes, it is good, therefore you ought to listen to it. That's how philosophy works now.
But you're making a quantitative or qualitative statement with your is statement that is
Obey.
unverifiable.
Obey. Oy vey. Thanks, Dolly.
I don't even know what you're referring to, but God,
Oh, you haven't seen my libertarianism for little babies?
no.
You know what? Let's watch it together.
Oh, joy. Do I need to unmute the fucking YouTube thing?
No, hold on. I'll show you. I'm just going to give you a link to it.
Okay.
I have some. And some people were a little bit confused about it, but I think most everybody got it. Oh, it's just Jim Jesus.
Just do the link in Discord.
Jeez, I can't find it. Let's see. Let's go to my channel. It's easier to find it that way. I can't find it through the search. Libertarianism for little babies.
Decided to become a
All right, let's move this over to the. There we go. And then we'll do the little simple countdown. Here, I'm gonna post it in voice chat. Just let me know when you have it ready. And then we'll watch it together because actually, I gotta be.
Down a bunch.
I've got to be real careful about this because there is copyrighted music on this, and YouTube doesn't like it when I stream copyrighted material, so I'm gonna have to mute it on my end. But you ready?
To go.
All right, 3, 2, or it's gonna be 3, 2, 1, play. 3, 2, 1, play.
libertarian. So you've decided to become a libertarian.
Thanks, Oregon.
Oh, did we get demonetized already? Oof.
So you've decided to become a libertarian. Let me be the first to welcome you on this long and beautiful intellectual tradition that is growing. Libertarianism is deeply rooted and steeped in a very deep understanding of philosophy and logistics, which is rationalism. That's empiricism taken to its logical conclusion. Most importantly, it's a very individualistic philosophy that emphasizes not the collective, but the individual. Therefore, you should think like us, talk like us, never disagree with us, read the same books as us, use the same arguments as us, never deviate from us, never question us.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna play for now. But you get the idea. Coolio's gonna get that fat check. Yep, Coolio's definitely gonna get that fat check.
Oh man. So I just stopped it at 110. So I get the idea. It's like, yeah, welcome to libertarianism, where we believe in individualism. Do everything that we do, otherwise you're not a real libertarian. Oh God.
Yeah, have we been demonetized for sure? Let me give it a good little refresh here. And don't save. Oh, it says yeah, it says
demonetized on your channel page.
Well, this is the live control. Let's see, events.
Oh, the live stream.
Yeah, because it's a live stream, so it's a little bit different now. Yeah, it says it's still monetized. There you go. I just didn't let it play the because I had it play the I don't know if you've seen Us yet.
No.
Highly recommend it. It's Jordan Peele's new movie. He's the one that did Get Out. He's also with Key and Peele.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, he's doing the Twilight Zone show now. But he his last movie was called Us. And it's one of those movies that are like you can watch over and over and keep finding new stuff in it because there's lots of little hidden like Easter eggs all throughout the film.
Easter eggs about what?
Okay, so I'm not going to tell you the spoiler stuff about it, but the idea is that there's like this family or this girl who she shows up at a carnival and she wanders off and she gets lost and she goes into like this hall of mirrors and it's like really kind of creepy inside. And then she discovers, like, she sees herself, like a doppelganger, and it's not a mirror. And then, like, it fucked her up, and she had to go through therapy or whatever because she wouldn't talk after that. And then, she shows it later on. She's an adult. She has a husband and 2 kids, and they go to like this one of their beach houses, and they're doing things, and then like all of a sudden, like this
white privilege.
This doppelganger. No, they're black. It's a black family.
Oh.
And
black privilege.
and all of a sudden, like this doppelganger family shows up and tries to kill them, and it leads into some other different things. But there's all different types of like kind of hidden Easter eggs. Like, for instance, the name of the movie is Us. And when they come in, they say like, like we're who are you? Like we're Americans, us, U.S. There's a lot of like Americentric stuff going on. Like Hands Across America is like a huge theme of the movie. Oh, Michael Jackson is also a huge theme of the movie, and it's also kind of played in because the doppelgangers wear one glove on their hand like Michael Jackson, but it's like a leather glove that looks like it's used for like being a butcher or something. It's really good. I was really surprised how good it was. And then, like, the story just keeps unfolding and folding and folding. It's kind of like... It's almost like Shyamalan at his peak before he went crazy, but done even better. Whereas, like, I could watch The Sixth Sense once. The second time I watch it, I'm like, nah, I already know the twist. It's boring now. Whereas this one, you can keep, like, unpacking it and finding, like, little things like, oh, the doppelgangers... They're in the closet, and there's like a game of, Guess Who is in the closet. The game Guess Who.
Right.
There's like little things in that movie you just keep picking up. Like, oh, the scissors are supposed to be a mirror image of each other. Oh, like all these little things. It's kind of neat, yeah. It's a great film. It's my favorite film of the year so far, by far. Endgame is pretty good, too. Endgame is great. Anyone who says anything negative about Endgame is wrong.
I only saw... I've never watched really any of the Marvel Universe movies at all. I mean, except for like the original Spider-Man stuff, like with Tobey Maguire.
It's not the same universe.
Well, I don't even know. Whatever.
I highly recommend you go through and watch them all. They're really great.
I don't even know what order they go in.
I can get you the order.
I keep on seeing people. That'd be great because people keep on trolling people with the order. Like you see these entire like big charts, and there's movies that don't even exist.
Here, I'll post the order. Let's see, because.
But like I saw Infinity War, like the last half of it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a bummer.
Premise.
Nah. So all that's been spoiler.
Infinity War was on fucking Netflix, I think.
Oh, okay. Infinity War. I'm thinking Endgame. I was gonna no. let's see, Marvel.
Like, I got to see everybody go like, get disintegrated. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
Here you go. Here's the whole timeline. I'm posting it in Discord in the voice chat.
Oh boy.
I'll just say skip. There's a lot of them that are TV shows. You can just skip the TV shows because a lot of them
Jesus Christ.
They're not really relevant.
Insert meme of that Asian dude with the little, like, magnifying glass.
Well, if you click open original, then you can see the whole picture. It's just zoomed out. Like when you click the picture, it should say like open original at the bottom. If you click that, then you can zoom in.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
I did open link, not open original, because it got compressed. All right.
Though I would say I wouldn't watch I would watch Captain America after Iron Man 2. But you can watch them however you want, but that's a good order too. So Captain America, First Avenger, Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor Dark World, Captain America Winter Soldier, which I thought was the best movie until Infinity War came out. Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yeah, just skip the black ones because the black ones are TV shows and they're not really even though they are canon, it's not really, like, you can completely skip over
Just
them.
like with licorice and people, I skip the black ones.
Oh.
Damn.
Oh no. Oh no.
I am so casually racist anymore.
I love
just
black
because
licorice.
It's funny. Just because it's funny. Just because it triggers people. I actually
Triggers
have
the
this
libs.
I have a whole I have a whole, like, collection of memes, and they're all sorted. Like, there's like 30 different subfolders in my memes folder. I think I counted at 1,500 or so the last time I counted. And I have this whole folder on just racism. And it's hilarious. And if you don't have a sense of humor, you will hate me.
Oh, here we go.
I'm the reason Donald Trump got elected. Triggers a lid.
But yeah, anyway,
on the lips.
what else here? Oh, wait, what are you?
Oh, I just played Mundane Matt saying "Trigger the libs, own the libs."
Oh,
We should probably wrap this stream up and then we'll just hang out in the Discord. By the way, if you want to join the Discord, here I'll post it. It's Discord or Discord. Lolberts.com. Discord.lolberts.com. Join and then it'll tell you what to do to get into the Discord server. So we'll wrap it up. Do you want to promote your channel one more time?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Eagle Eye 1975. You want to watch one of the highlights of the white guys talking in his car network. And yeah, and thanks for all the super chatters, which was Tally. Thanks, Tally, for the
Nice.
for the sips. And we'll wrap this up. Hail Satan or worms. Oh, hell worms. Hail worms.